Beyond Saltmarsh is a game played by adults and recorded for an adult audience. Sometimes we use adult language and explore adult topics. Consider yourself warned.
Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the Superior Adventures Guild. My name's Dave. I'm your humble dungeon master here tonight. I'll be emceeing this awesome game that we've been playing for, a couple months now, since March of 2020 when we fired this thing up, and it's been a wild ride. Before we get into the game, I want to go ahead and introduce my colleagues and the players who will be joining us tonight. Hey, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello.
Hello.
Making them super short today.
Go ahead, man. Introduce yourselves to all the five people that are watching us right now.
Hey. Hey there, my name's Andy. I'm playing a Rhunar Dig, a 7th level human dual sword wielding champion fighter, and captain of the Good Buddy.
I'm Kirk. I'm playing Byron Hern, a morally bankrupt, mischief-making bandit of questionable integrity.
Yeah, he's finally admitting it. That's interesting.
I knew it all along. You're that, and Theo's a necromancer. Hello, my name is Chad. I will be playing Irin Coalbiter. He's a dwarf blacksmith, a member of the Artisans Guild. He does cool stuff, and he punches things hard
Quite often.
in the genitals. It's because he's short.
Yeah, he is, but effective. It should be noted that our Warlock Theo is not here again this week, but don't worry, he will be coming back and joining us next week, which will be exciting to have him back and just kind of find out how he as a player and as a character is going to respond to the shenanigans that have been going on the last 2 episodes. But Chad, you had an announcement you wanted to make.
I do. Hello, it's me, Chad, again. This Saturday, the 16th at 2 p.m. Central Time, I will be hosting my new show here on Twitch on the Guild Superior channel called Roll Your Doom, where I will talk about a bit of the process and kind of tools of the process of running games, specifically the Think Deck by Runehammer Games in this, my very first episode. Please join me. It's going to be probably fun, probably a little awkward for me, but we'll get through it together, and then we'll rule the universe. So
that's awesome. I'm excited about that. It's going to be super cool.
Me too.
We've been talking about it for a long time, and we're finally, how did you put it, Chad? Dipping our toes in the Twitch stream.
The Twitch stream.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
I don't know if anyone's ever said that before, but you're welcome.
Yeah. We'll have to fact check that one. All right. So without further ado, let's jump into a brief recap of last week's session. In our last episode, the Dead Gang had returned to Saltmarsh and found that 2 of their crew members, Mr. Korga and Mr. Tamis, had been arrested in connection with a robbery that had occurred at the home of a wealthy merchant named Bifrin Milt. Taken from Milt's residence was a golden conch shell, a prized gift from Vlerith, chief of the Javan merfolk. Because of the role in creating a distraction that allowed a third party to enter the Milt estate and steal the conch, Tamis and Korga were taken into custody for questioning and likely incarceration. As all these events unfolded, Rhunar, Irin, and Theo were alerted to the arrest by their first mate, Fritz. Byron finding out during a conversation that he had with Eleander Fireborn, who's the captain of the Saltmarsh Town Guard. Feigning surprise and mild outrage at the arrest, Byron returned to the ship and discussed the issue with the rest of the party. Now, at this point, it was a little unclear, and really none of the party members aside from Byron knew much about what had transpired or about this item that had been stolen. So determined to find out what was going on and hopefully exonerate the 2 crew members that had been arrested, the Dead Gang went and met with Fireborn, and he told them that the item that had been stolen was a golden conch. Now at this point, pretty much everybody knew exactly what happened because old Byron had let it slip very subtly that he was in possession of a pretty ornate golden conch a couple episodes earlier, going all the way back, I think, to episode 1 of this season. So they left the Hool Watch Tower, returned to the ship, and there was a lengthy discussion about what they were going to do about this pickle that they were in. There was a plan devised, then another plan, etc. Until finally they decided to go with a tried and true technique, framing somebody. And they decided they were going to frame a known enemy, a recent enemy, Aramon, who they'd met in the Dreadwood Forest. So the first part of the plan involved the party asking a bunch of questions around town, sort of making it look like they were doing an actual investigation, looking for the true thief. And then they drafted this letter that linked Aramon to the Brotherhood agent Scarin Wavechaser. The letter made mention of the plot to frame the Dead Gang and subtly implicated Aramon and Wavechaser with the robbery of this conch. The letter was forged and planted in the Mariners Guild Hall for discovery. A day later, Tamis and Korga stood trial for their roles in the robbery and were pressed by prosecutors to divulge the identity of this third individual that they'd been working with, the mastermind, if you will, of the caper, someone that they now believed was Aramon because they had discovered this letter. The 2 accused men were questioned, and in a very impressive show of resistance, they both professed ignorance of who this Aramon person was, which was true, and they also protected the identity of the actual ringleader of this robbery, which was Byron. Afterwards, unfortunately, because of their involvement and because the ringleader was still at large, Korgus and Tama were sentenced to be extradited to Seaton, where they were going to be spending some time behind bars. Now, Byron, not willing to sort of let this lie, decided to approach Bifra Milt and have a conversation with them, a little diplomacy, requesting perhaps some leniency for the 2 men. And in a show of extremely impressive persuasion, Byron was able to convince Milt to put in a word with the town's guard to allow the men to be released into sort of like a work custody scenario, with Rhunar Deg becoming sort of the caretaker of these 2 criminals. In return, Byron promised to bring the true thief, Aramon, to justice and find the stolen conch shell. And that, my friends, is where we ended the last session. The 4 of you will say Theo is with you in spirit, but also he'll kind of be in the background for this session. But the 4 of you are back on the Good Buddy, your ship, with your 2 crew members, and it is your day to do as you wish in terms of getting ready for the next phase of your adventure. What would you guys like to do?
Well,
Yeah, we got
a new day.
a new day.
Turning over a new leaf.
I don't know if we're going that far.
Hear that, Byron?
Lower your expectation.
Well, we got a few things we need to do, right?
We do. Theo, what kind of supplies did you get while we were gone? Oh, I don't know, guys. I got all the steak and some beer.
Hey, bacon.
Theo, that's not enough.
Bodies.
So you did
So you have bodies in our ship.
sort of remembering back to last session, Theo was sort of given the task to procure some supplies. So he went about town and gathered food supplies. And he has how many people are in the crew now?
I was just about to address that.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's Kyle, Korga, Tamis, other guy, the other fucking guy, and then is there one more?
Fitz.
There's also Alphonse.
Alphonse, he's the cook.
There's Sales.
Yep.
Sales.
And
Fritz.
there's Fritz.
So we have 8. Well, we have 7 dudes that we pay.
Yep. 7 people that are in your employ. Sales. So that's 8, and then the 4 of you is 12.
Oh yeah, because we lost Leo. We lost Leo Coast.
Yeah.
Leo Coast,
R.I.P. Leo.
Are we gonna want to pick up another guy before we leave?
I mean,
Well, we
the
could
the
always
ship-
touch base.
the ship needs what, 6? Skeleton crew is 6.
Yeah, we have.
Ship needs barely that. I mean, we're 4 men
well-
short from a full crew on this thing, right? So it's 6 and 12.
Well, if you count all of us, we have.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
A full crew for this would be 12.
yeah.
You need at least 6 people, which is considered to be your skeleton crew, to be able to operate the ship
Hmm.
to its full
So
extent.
altogether. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
So you have
maybe-
12 right now.
Yeah, with us.
we
So the-
do. I think we have 11. Oh, and Fritz. Sorry, I didn't
Yeah.
have him down.
Yep.
Sorry.
So there's
Yeah,
12
so
of
there's
you,
8.
and you're gonna. The questions that I would have for you is how many days of rations would you have had Theo purchase for you?
Maybe 2 weeks at least. 2 weeks worth of food. That'll get us anywhere. That'll at least get us to a small plate. Like I'm the fucking sailor and know about this shit, but it'll at least get us to the. I would think it'll at least get us to a small place where you can maybe get supplies or a big place.
Mhm.
I don't have the official map of the Azure Sea open.
Well, let's do this. Let's bring you guys to the map here.
And then, sorry. Go ahead. I was just gonna add. Okay.
Oh, that's strange.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
night.
getting the
It's
same
apparently nighttime.
And that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. Yeah, I'm getting that too.
I mean,
That's even darker for me, guys.
What happened? All right. Let me throw a torch on there.
where's daylight mode, guys?
That's a good
Okay.
question.
Sorry. What were we saying?
So you've got 12 people.
continue,
The
or-
question is, how many days of
that's-
rations do you want? And then, so that the things that you'd want to purchase would be rations, which would include food and fresh water for one person per day, right? And then you'd want to have some sort of repair supplies to be able to repair things. As your boatswain knows, there are constant repairs to do on a ship.
Yeah.
So I remember specifically that we had bought a decent amount of supplies of the repair set before.
Yep, I'm pretty sure I had discussed that with you, Dave,
Yeah.
during one of our sessions.
The question is how much do we have left?
Right. Because the guys have
Right.
have been doing things on the ship in your absence.
Right. It's probably it's like a whole new ship. We're come back. We're like, oh,
It's
this
looking
is nice.
Yeah, it looks good. I mean, Fritz, he runs a tight ship, quite literally. Kirk, why don't you
He gets paid
roll?
well.
Why don't you roll 2d20 for me, and let's just see what's left in terms of supplies for repairs. Okay, so you've got approximately 16 units of repair supplies. So somebody write that down.
I got that.
Okay.
Should have a character sheet for our ship.
We probably will at some point.
Captain, get on that.
I have a little budget going for money.
Have we paid our men after our long break?
I was just about to bring that up.
Yeah,
Um,
that hasn't happened either.
We
So
don't have to pay Leo.
how Just to Dave, just to cover it, we were gone for 6 days,
Yes,
and then the day we spent running around Saltmarsh.
correct.
Well, it was 2 days.
So we owe them for like a week of pay.
I would say that's about right.
Okay. So let me that's 23 per day.
It's like a couple of hundred miles between here
Calculator.
and
I need my
Monmouth.
calculator. Okay, so that's
154?
it's
Between
161.
here and Monmouth?
Oh, math is bad.
No, it's probably like
Is that where you
It's
guys
like
are
two-
planning on heading to Monmurg?
200 and 300. I don't know. I'm just throwing out names on the map.
Monmurg, you guys have a map. So you guys purchased a map
Yeah.
from the Mariners Guild.
Yeah.
And you can see based on your map reading skills that Monmurg is approximately 54. Monmurg is approximately 90 miles from Saltmarsh. If you go by way of Engelberg, which is 36 miles from Saltmarsh, it's another 54 miles beyond that.
Wait, say that again?
So it's 36 miles between Saltmarsh and Engelberg.
Oh, wow.
And then it is 54 miles from Engelberg to Monmurg.
Oh, I'm zoomed in. Okay. I'm on the interactive map of Flannis, and it can be difficult to judge some of those distances. But I'm glad it's not 200 miles.
So if we think about it in hexes,
I see it.
Saltmarsh to Engelberg is 6 hexes.
Mm-hmm.
Engelberg to Monmurg is 9 hexes. Your ship, under the right conditions, can travel. The typical rate of travel is 7 hexes per day.
Right. So it's like 2.5 days.
So we could get to Engelberg in a day.
Right.
Wow.
Now we could get to Monberg in 2, so we could get literally like a week's worth of rations for everybody.
And
Get to Monberg and then stock up a bunch more because Monberg's much bigger.
I didn't realize we were so close to Seaton by ship.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we had talked about, because we had talked about that when we were, because the mine is between here and Seaton, and the mine was like 2 hours or something, right? From the ghost, from the haunted mansion or whatever. Like it was super close.
Yes, that's correct. The mine is about halfway to Seaton.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it was a different map.
Nonetheless, so you need to, you know, how much food, if your goal is to get to Monmurg as a kind of a first destination, you know, you're gonna need a couple days worth of food to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you want to stock up extra food so you don't have to necessarily take care of it in a city that you don't know anything about, perhaps.
I say yes.
This might be different there too, you know?
Right, yep.
It is the capital of the hold of the Sea Princes.
Oh man, we're not going to want to stop there.
Why not?
That's a bad idea. Because if we're talking about joining the Mariners Guild.
Yeah,
Well-
we ain't flying their flag.
I mean, that might be an excuse to go there, though. Doesn't the Mariners Guild go there?
You might have to talk to the Mariners Guild to get more details
Yeah,
about
well-
that.
We'll have to discuss that with them.
You know, none of you really being merchants, it would be hard to know exactly what the relations are between the two areas. I mean, there's tension for sure between Keeland and the Hold, but there's still some trade that takes place amongst nations, even when they're, you know, at odds politically.
Yeah.
The hot war between Keeland and the Hold has been over for a bit. There, you know, you might think that there's a Cold War kind of idea going on still. And Rhunar had fought in the Battle of Bale Keep, and that was against the Sea Princes back in the day.
Right. Where is Narisbin?
You guys don't
Way
really
south.
know.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Besides that, it's super far south, right?
Could be in. the
Yeah,
journal.
we don't check. Well, it doesn't say where it is. I don't think I was looking through my notes trying to remember what we knew about where Captain Solana was going or whatever. And in the journal, and then I didn't find what I wanted to find, and so I just smashed through like 6 entries of the journal, and it's like they talk about Nerisbin.
Yeah, it's entry
Drellian talks about
number 8 is the one that talks about is the one that introduces Nerisbin.
yeah, Telek Sharn is the governor of Nerisbin. And it talks about it being in the south, and then I think is it 12? No, it's not going to open because it's already open in a different window. Talks about waiting for. Okay, it's just not going to open, but I just had it open.
I can
But
read
it
it to
talks
you.
about
It says the
Solana going to or waiting for word from Nerisbin from Solana or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Emperor of the Waves left port today for Nerisbin to meet Solana, my trusted representative in the Olmans. I have sent along a sizable investment in order to secure my stake in the south. This is the bulk of my fortune. I've also sent along Matreus's map fragment with instructions to Solana. I pray he can recover the remaining fragments so our expedition to Tomoachan can proceed. I anxiously await the ship's arrival in Nerisban.
That's for dramatic effect. It didn't work.
Anyhow, so yeah, that
but
is really what you know about Nerisban is what's mentioned there. You haven't really done any sort of inquiries or investigations.
And if Monmerg is a bigger place, right? If it's the capital of the Sea Princes, like that's probably a good place for us to go to find some shit out.
Hey, Dave.
People are gonna know stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you recall at the moment, but where did we find the Emperor of Waves?
That was in the Bay of Javan. That would have been somewhere like out in this general area.
Sorry.
I'm pinging on the
between
map.
Engelbert and Mongmerg.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Out towards Jetsam Island. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was much further away. Okay.
I mean, it could have been. I don't honestly, as the DM, I don't remember how many days journey it was or anything, but it was out somewhere in that area, we'll say.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was.
It feels like longer than it actually was.
Yeah.
Because that's probably about as far as Rhunar has been, unless it's.
Yeah, it was somewhere
back in
between, let's say
military
it's somewhere
days.
between Saltmarsh and Jetsam Island in this area.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it didn't make it very far.
No.
As you do. Yeah, so I'm down for going to Monmerg. I think that's a good idea. If we can find word of something, I mean, if that's the kind of place that it sounds like they're going to be the kind of folks who know, right? These sea princes.
Well,
yeah, they might not like us too much down there, though.
if we're gonna,
If they know who we are.
right, we can't ever talk about Rhunar Dig because if they have spies in Saltmarsh, they'll know who Rhunar Dig is, and they'll know they've been helping the Keoland Navy.
They might know who the good buddy is. They might know all of you.
I mean,
Oh no, you're
for that
right.
matter.
I can't change that.
I mean, think about it this way.
Well, the Mariners Guild can probably tell us.
Does it really matter? Right? Like any place, like even where I come from in Irongate, right? There's like these guys and these guys and these guys and these guys. And these guys might not like you because you're a Marine for a foreign country, but these guys don't give a shit, right? Because they're just trying to make some money.
Right.
You know, especially if these guys are the sea princes, right? They're like all former pirates and shit.
Well, we don't.
I mean, I don't know a lot about pirates, but that's the word on the street, right? Like, what do they care?
We took this boat. We took this boat from somebody.
Yeah, but were they with the Sea Princes? And were they with the Sea Princes, were they like, was it like somebody's brother? I mean, we don't know, but like, if if we're gonna worry about that shit, I'm gonna go home. like we can't worry about that kind of stuff. That's the small stuff. If we get to Monmerg and it's weird for us, it's no weirder than it is for us here. And I look at Byron.
Thanks to
pointedly.
Byron.
Like
all right. We should
it's not really gonna matter. I mean, we gotta find someplace to go.
Well, one way to know for sure is we'll just ask the crew if they've ever been there.
We can, yeah.
We should just ask Fritz. All right, so agenda. What are we doing? What are we doing right now? Actually, I'll go find Fritz because I gotta pay him.
I'll go find Fritz.
We gotta pay him too.
Yeah,
so.
I'll grab Fritz and I'll bring him. I'll bring him back.
So, so just real quick, Fritz will come in a second, but also just keep in mind to still figure out how many days of rations you wanted Theo to purchase at some point before we leave. All right,
Okay.
so Irin goes out and Fritz is taking care of business like he does. And he, yeah, Irin, yeah.
Hey Fritz,
what can I do for you?
We could use you in the captain's cabin.
Aye. And he rushes up to where you are and walks with you towards the cabin. Everything okay?
Yeah. We're just making plans for shipping on and shipping out, as they say.
Yeah.
I gotta say the boat's looking pretty good.
Well, we've had plenty of time to work on it, yeah. It's looking pretty good.
You can almost eat off of it.
Yeah, sometimes with Alphonse cooking, it kind of does taste like you are, huh?
Yeah, he's a real son of a bitch. All right, we'll get in.
Okay, so he walks in.
Fritz,
Yes, Captain.
the ship looks great.
Thank you, Captain.
I just wanted to give you this first. This is the money for the crew for the past week.
Oh.
So I'll give
Fantastic.
Fritz 161 gold.
The boys will be happy. They'll be real happy, Captain.
Another question we had. I know this might sound kind of strange out of nowhere. Have you ever been to Monmerg?
No, Captain. I've personally never been there. Is that where we're headed?
Okay. We're throwing around a few ideas. So it's not
Big
for
city,
sure, but
I've heard.
yeah. So as far as you know, do you know if any of the crew is from there?
I could ask around if you'd like, sir.
All right. Okay, good to know. Well, I just wanted to find out from you if you had any experience there.
No, sir. Would it be okay to tell the boys that we're getting ready to shove off then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that would be all right. And we just have to finalize some things as far as getting supplies and, figuring out our route and whatnot.
Aye. Well, let me know what you need. In the meantime, I'll tell the boys to get things ready for departure.
All right. Thanks, Fritz.
You bet. He kind of bows a little bit and hustles away.
Good man. Good man.
Nice.
All right. Should we go to the Mariners Guild?
Well, why don't you guys go to the Mariners Guild? I'll go to the Carpenters Guild and just buy some extra units of supplies so that I can keep the ship in moving shape.
All right.
Sounds good.
Perfect. All right. So you guys depart the ship, head into town, and we'll start with Kirk, with Byron. So you make your way over to the Carpenters Guild Hall, and there's just bustling with activity. It seems as though, continually since you've come to town, the small fishing town of Saltmarsh has been bustling with business and commerce, and the fishing has been the best it's been in a long time. And you see that the carpentry folks are very busy, and you do see a familiar face, a tall half-orc woman that you remember as Miss Garlic Grimm. and she is
Miss
sort of
Garlic Graham.
she's sort of orchestrating workers working on different projects. She sees you. Yes. Well, you're back then, huh? Good to see you.
Ah, yes. The ballista's beautiful, by the way.
Well,
Phenomenal work. Phenomenal.
have you had a chance to fire it yet?
Not yet, you know. We're trying not to use it any, you know, it's one of those things. It's better to have it and not use it than not have it. Need it.
She kind of throws this big, thick ponytail of hair over her shoulder and behind her back, and she kind of brushes off. She has a frock on with this leather apron, a bunch of tools put in different pockets on it, and she kind of wipes off her hands and some sawdust and stuff. She says, "Well, what can I help you with today then?" "Ah, I know. I did some work on. Let me see here." And she opens up this notebook that she pulls out of her chest pocket, and she shows you some drawings, and she says, "This is what I was thinking about for the delivery device for the bolts." And you look at her drawing, and she's got it's like this large ballista bolt diagram with all these figures and numbers and angles and, you know, all this stuff written on it like an architectural drawing. And it has this cage at the end on the towards the pointed end, about a third of the way back from the tip of the bolt. And she shows through her drawing, she's like, and this is where you can see here where you can put the fuel inside this cage right here, and there's a fuse that we can have right here, so you could fire this bolt, and once it hits, splash the oil across the deck of whatever your target is, causing some massive damage. And she kind of rubs her hands together.
I'm gonna hug her. I'm gonna like.
Whoa! She kind of stops you, and she's like, "That's okay. I know you're excited. I am too."
This is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is exactly what our ship needs. I need. Oh my gosh, we're not gonna be able to install this.
Say it again.
We're thinking about we're thinking about heading out. Oh shoot. You know, we're not sure we're gonna stay in town much longer, so I don't know if we'll be able to install something like this. But I'd love to purchase these plans.
Oh, of course.
How much do you want for them? I mean, they're beautifully drawn, and I really appreciate you taking the time to do this for us.
When do you intend to leave port?
Oh my goodness, we're hunting this golden conch thief, and we're really hoping to find them to the south of here. I have some pretty good leads. I'm just gonna roll a deception check because I know I'm lying.
She really doesn't know what you're talking about.
But yeah, so we're thinking about that. Oh, sweet. Okay.
So no, go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll.
Okay.
She's kind of looking at you, quizzically, like, okay. She says, "Well, do I have time to make a copy?" Is what I'm getting at.
Dave, would she have time to make a copy for me?
I think she probably would.
Yeah, you would definitely have time to make me a copy.
Very good. I will get working on a copy. I've never sold a plan before. Shall we say 5 gold?
Deal.
Very good.
And my dear, I would also like, with this plan, a number of supplies. Let's say 150, 200 units of repair work for our ship, you know, just in case while we're on our sail, you know, we run into any vagabonds or pirates, you know, God forbid.
Of course. Let's see. So she looks around and she says, "You said 150 units of materials."
You know, ish.
We could have that shipped over to you at the end of the day if you'd like. It would cost you, well, for you, since we've done business before, 150 gold.
I'll give you 200, and if you can get it here early evening, that'd be better.
We'll get right on it right away.
Oh, you're great. Whatever you do with that extra 50 gold, you know, that's on you. You know, I'll let you deal with that. And I'll give her 205 gold.
Okay. She takes it from you and she shouts to a couple of the guys to come over, and she barks a couple orders at them. You can tell that she's extremely respected in this workshop, and they hustle off to start gathering supplies for you. We'll have that over to you in just a couple of hours.
Excellent. I just wanted to know, do any of your carpenters, keep their ear to the ground around town here, for any information that may be useful for me?
That'd be hard to say. We kind of stick to business here, and I'm not sure what folks do in their personal time, but
yeah,
hard to say.
I understand. If possible, if you could just put the word out that the dead gang's looking for this golden conch, that'd be great.
Absolutely. I'll ask around.
Oh, you're too kind. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Anything else I can help you with? Then I've got a lot to do.
You know what? Don't let me keep you. Enjoy your evening.
She reaches out her hand. She reaches out her hand to shake your hand. Very good.
Ooh, I'll do the warrior thing where I grab her elbow.
Okay. She's got an extremely firm grip. Yeah.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
You should come visit Theo too. I remember him taking a liking to you, if I remember correctly. He hasn't heard from you.
Which one was that?
The charismatic one.
Mm.
Kind of a little.
The one with the nice personality.
Yes, the nice one.
The one with a personality.
Yeah, the one with a personality.
Okay, well, that was awkward, but thank you. She walks off and continues getting things prepared for you.
She doesn't remember Theo?
Maybe she does, maybe she doesn't. Meanwhile, Rhunar and Irin are heading over to the Mariners Guild. And you make your way in, and you are greeted by none other than Laszlo Yannick. Well, Rhunar Dig, Master Coalbiter, welcome back. Have you given more thought, more consideration to joining the guild?
We have. That is exactly what we came here to speak with you about today.
Hot dog.
So, how does this all work?
Well, of course, you've had time to review the pamphlets I've sent over to you. And, well, the guild takes care of its members. There are a variety of different people that are members, including ship's captains like yourselves, seafaring merchants, fleet owners that live in Saltmarsh and along the coast to the north. Basically, the Mariners Guild represents all of our members' interests before the Viscount in Salonmore, lobbying for benefits to be brought to our port to improve the port. Some of the work that you did, of course, on the Isle of Abbey, along with the Red Crows, was in part paid for by the Guild to help shore up some of the trading routes in the area. Membership is open to anyone involved with Guild business. So things that we provide to our members are sailing and navigation training. We have an emergency warehouse space that is sometimes used by folks who are bringing supplies into port but don't have their purchasers in town yet. We also have a private lodging, a bunk area for some of our members' crews if they wish to stay in town rather than on their ships. A bunk and a meal for sailors who are coming through. Try to take care of our members. We get all kinds of folks that stop in and take advantage of these perks. We also offer a 50% discount on the docking fees here in Saltmarsh, which is a nice little perk. I'm sure I'm probably just telling you everything you already know after looking through the pamphlets. Now,
oh yeah, I did see that.
Roll a deception check.
We have pamphlets?
Yeah, he's handed you 2 pamphlets so far.
It's not in my journal.
or may not have thrown one of them away.
Yes, you did.
You did in fact throw one
Yeah.
of them away.
He kind of looks at you, and he's like, you don't really look, you don't give off the vibe like you really know what he's talking about, but he just keeps going. It doesn't bother him much. You could tell he's been through this pitch many times. He says, now, of course, there's a fee for membership, as you would expect. Independent ship captains like yourself, we request a 25 gold piece entrance fee, and then 10 gold pieces a year membership renewal. Fleet owners have a different rate, and merchants and businesses who don't actually have their own ships have a different rate as well. And so we have a variety of different membership tiers. But you would fit into the independent ship captains tier. Of course, gaining all the benefits that I mentioned previously for a very modest sum of 25 gold pieces for entry, and a year from when you sign up, an additional 10 gold pieces will be due.
All right.
There is one thing I have to mention. I am the chair of the membership committee, of course, as you can probably guess. We do, and I hate to bring this up, Captain Degg, but we do require that members maintain good standing with the Crown and the Town Council. And I don't know what's been going on. I've heard some things. We don't need to worry about that right now, but just as a heads up. Given sort of the word on the street about a couple of your men, I just need to make sure that you understand that piracy is grounds for removal. We don't condone piracy, of course. We are a merchants guild. But other than that, I think we should be good to go. If you're interested in joining, I can get the paperwork started right now. It'll take just literally a couple of minutes.
All right, sure. In terms of I'm sorry, you said the regions that are covered are mostly like along the north, the shore along the north?
Most of the commerce that we facilitate is between Saltmarsh and some of the Keelan settlements along the coast, between Seaton along the shore up to Gradzul.
Okay.
A lot of the fish that is caught here in Saltmarsh is salted, cured, and shipped to a variety of different locations that are then transported inland. That's our largest export from this particular port. With the Dwarven mine situation, we're not sure what that will bring. We're very excited for the possibility of a big development there, and that could change things considerably.
So in terms of cargo,
Mm-hmm.
do you take care of like arranging jobs?
Yes.
For
In
us?
fact, I recall now, we did have this conversation before. And yes, we do. In fact, I have a contact for you here in town that I think would be potentially very lucrative for you. You mentioned that I believe you mentioned that you were potentially heading southward. So I reached out to one of our guild members to inquire. I knew that he had done some business to the south. Let's first things first. Why don't we take care of the membership? Let's get that squared away, and then I can grab some of this information that I have on Mr. McCallum. How does that sound?
Okay. Sounds great. I'll give him the 25 gold.
Okay. He pulls out some documents for you to sign, and he gives you another pamphlet and sticks a copy of your signed membership agreement in there, etc., and hands it back to you. Takes care of the transaction. He also hands you a flag, and he says,
Okay.
as a member, you also have access to this flag, and he unrolls it for you to look at, and it's kind of a long horizontal flag rather than kind of like the rectangular, the big kind of square almost flag. So it's a little bit smaller banner type flag that it's red, and it has a black lion on it, which represents the throne, the Keelan throne. And he
That's
says,
cool. That's a cool flag.
yeah, he says, this is for you to fly to acknowledge your membership in a sanctioned Mariners Guild of the Kingdom of Keeland. So congratulations. Welcome, gentlemen, to the family. And he shakes your hands.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So, ultra nerd question, Dave.
Yeah.
Is this flag a generic flag for the Kingdom of Keeland, or is this the Naval Jack?
This is, so it's not the Naval Jack. It is.
That would be like a Navy ship, I suppose.
Right. They have a different ship that identifies them as part of the Navy, right? As a military.
Okay.
This is a flag that was designed to identify ships that were part of a sanctioned guild in Keeland to aid in things like port entry, any sort of customs type situations, just to basically sort of fly your colors and let people know who you are when you're in the region.
Okay.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yeah. So you guys have that
Fast.
flag now.
All right.
Nice.
He reaches down and he pulls out his notebook and he says, "Yes, I had a conversation a couple of days back now, maybe a week ago, with Mr. Vincent McCallum, who is a member of the Mariners Guild here. He has some business relationship with Manistered Copperlocks, who I'm sure you're familiar with at the Dwarven Mine. Not originally from Saltmarsh, I believe he's from Grad Zool, but he has been here negotiating on behalf of his employers in Grad Zool with Manistred and the Dwarven Mine operation. I think he is essentially vying to become the shipment source for ores that need to be transported along the coast up to Grad Zool for whatever they're going to do with these ores. But he mentioned that he has a contact in Monmerg that might be helpful for you. I know you mentioned that you did have some cargo that you might be willing to sell, including barrels of wine, I believe, and some fine silks. He believes that his contact might have an interest in that. So I told him that the next time I saw you, I would send you his way.
Oh, all right.
Excellent.
That sounds great.
Fantastic.
Say, I remember back when we were doing the trip to Abbey Isle that the guild had kind of their own store of provisions. Is that something that's available to members?
We do have some provisions in-house that are available. What exactly are you looking for?
I could use a spyglass.
Hmm.
As the captain, I don't currently have one. It'd be nice to have.
Yes.
Yes.
A very expensive and sought-after item indeed. We don't have any available.
Okay.
Most of the captains have them from other sources. We do,
Right.
in terms of provisions, we do have some food stores that we use to feed visiting guild members and that sort of thing.
Any access to potions?
I think we did have some potions that we lent to you for the Abbey Isle job, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a long time, so it's hard to remember exactly what that.
Yeah,
we
it's been a
drank
while.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah, we use those.
Yeah.
We've been in a lot of fights since then. So
Yeah, we're not really in the business of potioneering, which is a word I just made up.
I mean,
Yeah.
it very well describes the business of potions.
Unfortunately, no one else around here is either.
Well, Saltmarsh is sort of a small town, lots of potential, but still
Right.
has room to grow, as they say.
Okay. Well, good to know. All this looks real good. Do you think Vincent, Mr. McCallum, would be available today that we could speak to him?
I could certainly check and let you know.
Okay. I guess what should we do in the meantime?
We
Well-
could go track them down. You know, I mean,
Certainly,
Yeah,
he does have offices in the Wharf District. You could stop by,
Oh, okay.
and he
Why don't
gives
we just
you
go?
he gives you a description of where that is.
Yeah, we'll just go over there then.
Gentlemen,
Okay.
I'm thrilled to have you as members of the guild. You have done so much for the guild already in the past few weeks, and I see a very mutually beneficial relationship in our future. I hope everything goes well with Mr. McCallum, and if there's anything else that we can do for you in the meantime, let us know. Otherwise, if you do shove off and head to destinations beyond Saltmarsh, we wish you the best of luck. Look forward to your speedy return.
All right. Thanks a lot. And I'm just going to gather up the flag and everything and
leave.
leave.
All right. We'll transition back over to Byron. Byron, you have left the Carpenters Guild Hall and you are heading back through the streets of Saltmarsh towards wherever you would like to go.
I am gonna make my way to I believe it is north into the Azure Sea.
No, north would be like towards Burl.
Okay, so I'm gonna head west to the far west end of town, where Bifrin Milt lives,
Mm-hmm.
with my two halves of that conch shell.
Okay.
And when I get there, I'm gonna kind of pull my hood up, duck into the bushes, and kind of disappear, and kind of just stake out outside his house for a little while.
Okay.
In hopes of seeing either him leaving or him arriving.
Okay, go ahead and roll a stealth check and a perception check for me. Okay. Hot dice.
Nice.
Yeah, so you nonchalantly make your way into his neighborhood and find a nice spot to conceal yourself among a hedgerow, and you wait for a while. And there doesn't seem to be any activity at the house until about the time where you're about ready to make a decision on whether to do what you're thinking of doing or leave. And you see one of the servants come out of the front door and then turn around and lock the door and then hustle off towards town.
I'm going to do a quick surveying glance at the street in the general vicinity to see if I can maybe go bust into the house real quick without being seen.
Okay. Yeah, with that perception check, you can see that there's an opening right now. You have an opening.
I'm going to go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to bust into his house again.
Okay. How are you going to do that?
I'm gonna run up to the door. I'm gonna put my ear up against the door briefly.
Okay.
See if I hear any movement or any snoring or anything like that. He's an old dude. Maybe he takes an afternoon nap. I don't know.
Okay. Roll another perception check for me. You don't hear any movement beyond the door. It is a pretty stout door, so it's pretty thick, nicely carved, intricate sort of framework on it. But yeah, you don't hear anything.
I'm gonna pick the lock.
Okay, roll a thieves' tools check for me. Snap!
Oh no.
Your lockpick bends and snaps off in the lock.
All right. I'm gonna look around and see if I see anyone.
Coast seems to be clear.
I'm gonna take the conch shell out and just put it on the doorstep, both halves of it,
Okay.
and I'm going to flee.
All right.
Oh, Jesus.
Your string of criminal natural 20s has gone south. It's finally dried up.
Shit.
I was waiting for it to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, you
My criminal activity's been so lucky.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
So do me a favor and roll another stealth check just to see if anybody sees you fleeing the scene.
But you finally learned to just walk away.
Yeah, you're
That's
able
still really
to
good.
you're able to quite easily make your way out of the neighborhood, and then you blend back in with the folks that are walking down towards the Shark Fin Bridge.
Sweet. As I'm walking in the middle of the street, I'll just go ahead and pull my hood down and step out of the darkness and become one with the crowd.
Nice. All right. So yeah, you make your
Oh,
way
yeah.
back to town. That's great.
Ugh,
Oh boy. All right. So let's
God
see.
dang it.
epic natural one failure.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Ouch.
All right, Irin and Rhunar, you guys head over to the offices of McCallum and McCallum.
McCallum and McCallum.
Yep. And there's
Nice.
a door on it's a pretty modest space. It's tucked on the edge of a larger building, and you can see through the windows that there are two men, one sitting behind a large desk, the other standing, having a conversation. And they look. The man sitting at the desk kind of looks out the window and sees you, and looks to see if you're if you're coming here for business or not. And he kind of raises an eyebrow.
Always here for business.
And he kind of waves to you to come on in. And as you open the door, it kind of jingles the little bell, ding-ling, ding-ling. And you come in, and he says, "Hello, gentlemen. How can I help you?"
Yes, hi.
He stands as you walk in.
Looking for McCallum.
Vincent.
Ah,
McCallum.
well, you found him. I am Vincent McCallum. Pleasure to meet you. And he reaches out his hand to shake.
Rhunar Deg,
Hi.
nice to meet you.
Oh, but of course, I know you well. I've know of your deeds around town. The great service that you've done for our community. Very, very nicely done. You've done much to help out my good friend Manistred Copperlocks, which I appreciate very kindly. And you are, and he kind of looks down at you, Irin. You must be Irin Coalbiter, yes? Yes?
I am.
Ah, very good. Pleasure to meet you, sir.
And you.
He looks over at the other fellow, who you can now see is a half orc, he's dressed very smartly, very nicely dressed, slicked back hair that kind of comes down to his shoulders in the back, and he kind of just nods and says, "Gentlemen," and then he leaves through a different door. And Vincent looks to you and says, "Please, gentlemen, sit. What brings you to McCallum and McCallum?"
Oh, well, thank you. We just joined the guild not long ago.
Very good
Um,
news.
Yeah. and
Welcome.
While we were there, we found out that you have done a little business to the south.
Ah.
Um,
Yes, you've spoken with
Town.
Mr. Yannick, I assume.
yes.
At that, McCallum kind of leans back in his chair and kind of crosses his leg. You can see him. He's a well-groomed man, middle-aged. He's got this full head of bone white hair, clean-shaven, but deep lines across his brow. Very well-dressed, as was the half-orc gentleman that was there as well. And he does this thing where he kind of puts his fingertips together as he's listening to you talk, and just kind of touches his chin with his index finger. And he says, yes, I have traveled extensively in the region, and I do have contacts to the south. Where do you intend to make as your destination?
Well, we were thinking possibly Monmerg. Is it, what's the climate right now? Is it unusual for guild ships to go that way?
No, there is regular transport between the kingdom and the hold. It is, I would be less than truthful if I were to say that it is safe. However, we do have ships that go back and forth. I have not done business there for some time, but I do have business contacts there that I would be.
Oh, okay.
I would be more than happy to make an introduction for you, knowing your penchant for good deeds and making yourselves particularly useful, I do have someone that I could put you in contact. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
He turns to you, Irin, and says, Where are you from, Master Coalbiter?
Herngate.
I didn't want to say anything, but I caught a bit of the accent. I myself have spent some time in the free city of Irongate as well.
Oh,
Yes. Quite an impressive city of fortification, I must say.
it is.
I spent quite a bit of time there learning as much as I could about valuable metals and gemstones from some of the experts in that region. And he says, in very broken Dwarvish, he says, and I studied a little bit of the dialect as well. Comes in handy from time to time.
It does. It's not bad.
I have much to learn, but nonetheless, I must show this to you. And he stands up, and he pulls from his belt a dagger in a sheath, and he sets it down on the table and slides it over to you, and he says, "This is my most prized possession from those days. Please, take a look. Take a look at it."
Oh yeah, I'll grab it and check it out.
Yeah,
Look it over.
you pull the blade from the sheath, and you can see right away that this is an exquisitely crafted blade. It's a small dagger, and let's see. You have some background in weapon design. You would know by
It is literally my background.
yeah, you would know without even a roll that as you look it over and you look for the print, the imprint of the smith.
The maker's mark. Yeah.
Yep, you see a very eloquently crafted, imprinted DS, which you recognize to be the maker's mark of Dwarf Strongheart, who is a rather well-known weaponsmith in the free city of Irongate.
Strong heart.
Yes, it's quite an item. Would you agree?
Good work. Yes.
It's a good one. Yeah.
Anyways,
nice.
yes, I'm very proud of it. I enjoyed my time there, and well, I hope to go back someday. I learned much there, but there's much left to learn. So, let me ask you this: you intend to travel to the south, Monmurg as your destination?
Yes, we were thinking about it.
Well, I have a friend. He kind of pauses and sort of thinks about that word for a minute. I have a contact in Monmurg, a fellow by the name of Alesko Mariconia. I've done business with him before, and I don't know what kind of cargo you have, but he is he is a merchant who trades in various items, all manner of items and goods, and well, I would direct you to him.
Well, we have a good deal of silk. Of several barrels of wine. So yeah, we have some stuff, and then we might be able to pick up some other things. Before we head that way.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
do you think that he would be interested in any of those?
I can't say for sure. I haven't spoken with Alesko for some time, but if he is not directly interested in the items that you have, I have no question in my mind that he would know exactly who would be interested. So he would be a great contact for you, especially if you've never been to Monmurg. Have you been?
No, I haven't.
Oh.
Well, it is quite the city. I think you will find it a stark contrast to your experiences here in Saltmarsh. But nonetheless, having a contact there will be extremely beneficial. If you'd like, I could draft a letter of introduction for you.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Very good. Very good. He pulls out a pretty nice looking quill pen and dips it in this inkwell. And he pulls out a piece of parchment and starts writing. And he stops and thinks for a little bit. let's see. I'm going to let him know about your membership in the guild. I think this would help greatly. And he keeps writing.
Okay.
In good standing with the guild. Yes, yes. And the name of your ship?
The Good Buddy.
Yes, okay. It's a clever name. Very good. He hands you the note, the letter, and he says, take a look and let me know if this will do.
This looks great.
Very good, very good. Well, I wish there was
Well,
something more that I could do for you. Is there anything else? I'd love to hear of your travels. You plan to return to Saltmarsh?
Yes, I'm sure we'll be back through here sometime soon. I don't think we'll be gone for too long. I think we're going to be moving around a little bit from here on out. But
Well,
yeah, I'm sure we'll be back.
I would say this: when you do return, perhaps connect with Alesko again. He may have items and goods that needs to be shipped back this direction. Could be lucrative
Okay.
for you.
All right. Good to know. All right. Well, thanks for taking the time to meet with us. I appreciate this.
Absolutely. Gentlemen, it was a pleasure to meet you. It's always a pleasure to meet someone from Iron Gate.
It's rare that I meet somebody who's been there. In fact, I've never met anybody else who's been there so far in my journeys.
It is a highlight of my career. I will tell you that. Well, I wish you safe travels, gentlemen. If there's anything else that
Thank
McCallum and McCallum can do for you, don't hesitate to stop back in and let me know.
All right. Say, I'll mention it outside.
All right, you guys head out.
I was just gonna.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna propose to Irin that perhaps he might have ran into your brother at some point.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how.
Oh, I forgot about that. He would have probably been a good person to ask.
But I don't. I mean, he'd been through there. I don't know necessarily mean. I don't know if that would.
But I mean, he's done trade in a lot of different places. You know what? I'm gonna go back in there real quick. That's, I can't believe I forgot my own fucking quest.
Ah, Master Coalbiter. Yes, so soon.
Wow.
Did you?
I was caught up thinking about all this trade and goods and stuff.
Yes, it is quite exciting.
Yeah. Say, have you heard of a ship called the Griffin's Wing,
Griffin's Wing.
captained by a man named Solana?
Griffin's Wing. Let me think about this. The name of the captain does not ring a bell. The name of the ship neither. Merchant ship?
Yeah.
Out of Saltmarsh or Iron Gate or
Well, I know my brother was on that ship, is on
Hmm.
that ship,
Hmm.
and he was like the merchant person of the family, right? And he's been missing. You know, we got letters and whatnot for a long time, and we hadn't for a while. So the main reason why I'm out here is trying to track him down. As you can imagine, it's a big damn ocean.
Indeed.
I know that the Griffin's Wing has been through Saltmarsh, or at least Captain Solana has.
Do you know when?
I don't think, out of character, I don't think I actually do.
No, I don't think
Right.
you do either.
I just
around
know
the
that he
time
has
of
been here. Yeah, whenever these
entry
journal
3,
entries were dated. Yeah, right.
entry
don't
3
have-
of the journal. I don't
Yeah,
know.
we don't have a hard date, and I don't think anybody we've talked to has really known jack shit.
No.
So, yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not really sure when they were through here last. I haven't heard from my family hasn't heard from my brother. And I don't have in over. I think probably at this point it's probably actually been 2 years. Because when I wrote my character description, it was like a year or so ago, and it's probably been maybe been a year and a half. So it's over a year, maybe not 2 years, but we haven't heard from him in I don't know, a year and a half at least. So it's unless somebody's gotten word to him while I've been out, but yeah, I couldn't. I tracked a few trails to get me to Saltmarsh, but since getting here, it's been kind of dry.
Well, don't lose hope, Coalbiter. I will, now that I know the name of the ship and the captain, I will certainly keep my eyes and ears open. If you'd like me to look into it, I could shake a few branches of my network and see what falls out.
I'd appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you find anything, I don't know.
You could probably leave word with the guild.
Leave word with the guild, or maybe we'll find a way to get a message back and forth.
Absolutely.
Depending on where the tides take us.
Indeed.
Well, I thank you. And again, good day.
Good day, sir.
And I'll leave.
Thanks. All right.
I said good day to you.
Good day.
Good day.
Okay, so let's see. Kirk, Byron, we're back to you, sir. Was there anything else that you wanted to do?
It just crossed my mind. I'll stop by the Dralian estate.
Okay.
And I'll knock on the door. I know Sophia has been feeling sick. At least that's what the rumor around town. And I borrowed how to speak Infernal from her about 10 days ago.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I told her I'd bring it back to her in 10 days.
Right.
That's a good in.
So I'll knock on her front door.
How to speak Infernal in 10 days.
In 10 days, yeah.
Yep, I
How to
remember
speak
that.
Infernal in 10 days.
10 days later. Meanwhile, you haven't looked at it more than once.
I looked at it the one time, but my my intelligence roll was like 3. And I was like, screw this, I'm not going to learn this. Which is almost exactly how high school went for me. So
You make your way over to the Dralian estate, and you see, as you approach, you see a gardener out in the yard taking care of some of the landscaping duties. It's getting to be like maybe mid to late afternoon by this point with all of the day's activities. You see the man working. You walk up to the door and knock, and within just a few short minutes, the door swings open, and you see a familiar face, a woman that has greeted you at the door of the Dralian estate before. Middle-aged, 40s, tight ponytail, pulled back, dark hair, and a dark complexion. She's got on an apron, and the reason you really remember her is she's got a lazy eye that kind of wanders a little bit, but a very friendly smile, and you recall her first name is Lucida. And
Lucida.
And she says, yes, Mr. Hern, welcome. What can I do
you.
for you?
I'm here to speak to Sophia. I hear she's fallen ill, and it's well, personally, I haven't spent so much time with her. I'm concerned, but also I borrowed this book from her. But mostly, I'm concerned.
Yes. Well, it's true that
Give her a big stage wink.
Mistress.
You missed it.
Mistress Sophia is not feeling well. In fact, it's been a bit of a sudden turn. Her situation has worsened, it appears. She's not currently awake. She's in her room taking rest.
I don't know if it would be a good time to disturb her from a much needed sleep, but
You're right. You're right. Lucinda, Lucida, Lucida, my dear. It strikes me as very odd that she suddenly is struck with such a severe illness, especially
Yes.
so close to the recent break-in. I also heard about.
Oh yes. Oh,
What,
my!
4 days ago?
I nearly forgot about that already. There's been so much. Oh, well.
Yeah, a lot's happened in town. I've noticed. I noticed someone tried to frame some of our shipmates
Oh my!
for some golden conch
terrible.
shell theft.
Terrible.
Like it just and to have Sophia so suddenly poisoned is
Oh my! You think
such a
she's been
tragedy for
poisoned?
Saltmarsh.
Oh my!
Well, I
Poisoned?
mean, I don't know. I mean, it just crossed my mind as I was saying it out loud. But yeah, I mean, Sophia's sick, and it's so close to this frame job, which is so close to Aubric's murder, which I personally
terrible,
investigated. You may remember
Oh yes, yes.
me with the Dead Gang. Maybe you know them too. I don't
Oh,
know.
of course.
I
Rhunar
do.
Deg, yes, yes.
I'm a fan.
The hero of
I just met him
Saltmarsh.
and his sidekick, Irin Coalbiter, who I heard tore the door off of a fortress.
Oh,
Is that true?
I had not heard that.
I heard he tore a door off a fortress and threw it
Oh my!
into a lake while surrounded
Oh
by
my!
evil fish people. It's
Oh,
that whole group of people. I mean, just to be hanging out with them,
oh yes, what
I'm
an
blessed.
honor.
I'm honored. Yes, you know. Oh my God, Lucida. It's. I feel like I haven't talked to anyone that understands me as
The
much
amount
as you
of
do.
good that you and your friends have done in this town is insurmountable.
Lucida, please tell me. This break-in. When did it occur? Who did it? Do you know? Do you have any theories? I mean, you work here. I mean, you gotta know. You have an idea. You're here every day.
Well, I was not here when the break-in happened. Her personal guard was injured in the assault. My assumption was that with the capture and swift justice that was delivered to that terrible man, Scarin Wave Chaser, well, that this whole
We don't
episode...
speak that name in this city.
Oh my. Yes, indeed. Terrible, fiendish individual. Nonetheless,
Kirk, come.
well, I assumed it was one of his brigands who...
Yes, I think you're right. Do you mind if I look around a little bit while Sophia's unconscious?
Well...
Maybe I can dig up some clues.
Well... I mean... As long as we don't wake her...
I won't even go into the same room.
Well, no, please. She... As I said, she's very sick and she shouldn't be disturbed. But come in.
Room, but I'll hold her hand.
She ushers you inside.
Okay.
What would you like to see? I'll put on some tea. How's that?
Yes, that sounds wonderful. Do you mind if I just wander around? Are there any places you'd like me to stay out of?
Well, what are you looking for? Maybe I can help you.
You know, I just feel like there's got to be a clue laying around. And I mean, I trust your cleaning staff, and I trust the rest of the staff of this beautiful abode. Wow, it's just such a stunning home that you have, for the record. But I just maybe
here.
they missed something.
Oh,
you get to work here.
Yes, indeed. It's an honor to work for the Dralians.
Yes. Oh, indubitably. So I'll just wander around while you go make some tea, and we'll discuss everything in a little bit.
Very well.
How's that sound?
Very well. Don't get into trouble.
Oh, of course not. Never been in trouble. Please.
Roll a deception check.
With advantage.
We'll go with the 18. All right, she nods and hustles off to get the tea started, and you are left alone in the entryway.
I'm gonna bust ass and run upstairs and open Dralian's secret chamber thing.
Okay. Yep,
And I'm
you
gonna
you
sneak
remember
inside.
exactly how to get in there, so that's not a problem at all.
Yep. And once I'm inside, I'm gonna take a moment. I'm gonna catch my breath because I just sprinted, and I'm gonna reach into my bag of holding. I'm gonna pull out that weird contraption, that weird technical device that I pulled off of the top floor.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that there was a missing piece.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really gonna inspect what that missing piece may have looked like.
Okay. Roll an investigation check. And I think you have done this before. But go ahead and
But
give
I
it.
rolled very poorly.
Yep. Okay, so essentially what this is, it's a device that is composed of essentially two pieces. The main piece is this long cylindrical, almost like a sighting glass. It almost looks like like a sight glass, but much longer, and it is affixed to a tripod like stand that it sits upon, and it can swivel and rotate. And it has these dials that you can twist and turn with these little indicators on them for degrees, so that you can dial it into specific degrees, up and down, left to right. And there is an obvious part of this long cylinder that is missing, and it is probably a 6-inch in diameter cylinder that is roughly another 6 inches in length, or right around those dimensions. It appears as though it's not broken. It doesn't appear to be broken. It appears as though something can be pulled out and put into this spot.
I'm gonna immediately, using this new knowledge, or well, not new knowledge, but this renewed knowledge of what this piece that's missing may look like, and I'm gonna begin searching the house for cylinders about that size.
Okay.
And stealthily stuffing them into my bag of holding.
If you find anything.
Fast. If I find anything, so if it's a candlestick and it just happens to fit right,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna stuff it in my bag of holding.
Okay. So you're gonna.
And I'm just gonna run around the house.
Sure.
Like, I'm gonna be moving quickly, room to room,
Yep.
room to room. Unless she's around, in which case I'll calmly be looking around as if I'm searching for clues.
Okay.
To deceive her.
Okay, so go ahead and roll a perception check as you're moving through the house. Okay. Yeah, so you do a quick scan of his secret study, where you've been a couple times, and you've really done a good once over on that room, or actually like a twice or 3 times over now.
It was the 4th time I've searched.
Yeah, it might be. But you go back out into the sitting room. You look around. It doesn't seem to be anything that fits these dimensions. You go into the game parlor room area with the spiral staircase that goes up to the tower where you got the device from. Scanning the tables, it looks like this room hasn't been touched in quite some time. The cards are still laid out on the table. The window is fixed and everything because the window was broken with the break-in, the recent break-in. You search that room, nothing. You walk back onto the hall, and as you take a couple steps, there's a rug in the hallway, and you step on the corner of the rug, and it kind of squishes. And you look down, and the rug in that location is wet.
Oh, interesting.
What with blood? Just leave. Just leave. Go away. We're leaving town.
I'm investigating it.
Damn it.
Erin's leaving town.
Sure, roll an investigation check.
We're going to come back, and this is going to be a vampire town.
I was wondering about that.
Well, one thing that you know right off the bat is that it's not blood. It is a clear liquid. You reach down and kind of squish the rug a little bit. It appears to be water. And as you look on the rug a little bit ahead of you, there's another spot that looks like it's wet as well.
Okay.
And it appears as though there's 2 or 3 more of these wet spots that lead around the balcony and kind of wrap around the banister, headed kind of in the direction of the Dralian, the main suite of the house where Aubric and now Sophia live, where they sleep and stay.
I will pull my shield out, and I will pull my sword out.
Okay.
And keeping my hood up, I will sneak along the trail of clear liquid.
Okay.
Until I get to wherever it stops, or I will go through any doorways stealthily.
With that investigation check, it's really hard to sort of identify where it ends and begins. All you know is that there's a couple of wet spots in this rug that wraps around this banister area.
Interesting.
But you are currently outside the door to the main suite.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and bump them. I'll open the door slowly, calmly and quietly.
All right, roll another stealth check for me. Jeez. You crack the door just wide enough for your body to slip through, and you slip into the dark room. And as you do, you kind of pull the door closed behind you to stop the light from shining into the room, and it's kind of exposing your silhouette, right? You do it kind of in a quick motion. And you can hear the labored breathing of Sophia from what you can now start to see in the darkness, her bed. She has this beautiful 4-post canopied bed, and you can just hear the...
I'll search the room for the cylinder that goes into the device that I have.
Okay. Roll an investigation check for me.
Got the vid.
You look around as best you can in the darkness. Without dark vision, it's hard, but you can see that the bed is dressed in fine linens. There are some beautiful, unfamiliar plants that you kind of brush past without hitting them, but kind of like work around. Some nice standing tall, like 3 to 4 foot high plants. A beautiful wardrobe. There is a fur rug that, as you sneak around the perimeter of the room, you can see is possibly a bear of some kind. Doesn't look super familiar to you. It's got sort of a whitish fur. But you particularly are looking for this cylindrical object, and you do not find it.
Okay. I'll go ahead and move over to Sophia.
Okay. You're standing over her. She is covered in bed. The covers are pulled tightly around her. She's laying on her back with her eyes closed, and just you can tell that she's struggling a little bit. Like it's almost like a pneumonia or like an emphysema sort of sound.
I don't know why this is happening, but I'm going to make a medicine check.
Okay, for what are you trying to determine?
I'm going to try to determine if my extensive knowledge of having been beaten up, stabbed, seen my friends die, seen all the shit that I've seen. Mm-hmm. I'm going to see if I can just in some way determine if I can
beaten up, stabbed, or seen her friends die.
if there's a way that maybe perhaps I can tell why she's sick. She's been poisoned. If there's any nicks, needle holes, pokes, stabs, it looks like her lips are a different color, anything like that.
All right, I'll allow it. That sounds cool. Do you do anything to expose like So she's
I'll
pretty
fully
bulky.
expose her.
Well-
I'll go ahead and pull the blankets all the way to her knees. Not that exposed. I'm not saying I'm not dressing her.
Okay.
Let's not go that far.
Okay.
I'm not
Okay.
trying to catch a charge.
Yeah, right. Okay, so you're so roll a medicine check and a sleight of hands check.
Says the rogue.
My intentions are good.
But yeah. Hey, wow, dude.
Nice rolls, man.
Evidently, you know more about medicine than you do about looking for things.
Or maybe I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know.
You're just looking for the
you know,
wrong
it just
thing.
crossed my mind. You know,
Wow,
Dr.
that's
House.
impressive.
I do what hits my. You know, I do what the character needs me to do.
That's right. Yes. So, you very carefully kind of peel back the blanket, the linens, to expose parts of her body to examine her from a medical perspective, and you notice a couple of things. That was a really good roll. Her lips are indeed blue. They have a tint of blue that you can just kind of see as you peer down and look closer. Again, it's pretty dark, but you rolled high, so you can tell that her breathing is very shallow, as well as her airways being constricted. Her breathing is shallow. You might even like try to touch her wrist for a pulse, and the pulse is really, really faint. You kind of examine her, and in the process of examining her, you look on her neck, and you see two pin pricks, almost
I knew it.
almost indetectable. If you hadn't rolled so high, you wouldn't have seen them. But you see two pinpricks. It doesn't look like... It almost looks like needle points. Two of them right next to each other. Probably about an inch gap between them.
Okay.
And there is just a little bit of dried blood at each one of those needle points.
I will retuck her in,
Okay.
and I will go have some tea with Lucida.
Okay. So you make your way back down the
We're
stairs.
gonna have to burn this whole town down.
I know.
And you make your way
Keeps
back down the
pulling me back
stairs.
in.
Well, you guys keep looking for stuff and you keep finding things.
That's okay. We
Yeah.
can ignore it.
Yeah, that's true. So you make your way down, and Lucida's like, oh, there you are. Okay. Please sit. And she serves you tea, and she just kind of, she takes tea herself as well, and she says, did you find anything useful then?
Lucida, I didn't really.
Well,
I did visit Lucida, or I did visit Sophia. I'm sorry.
Second
Oh.
Lucida?
Sorry. She
well,
looked very frail, very ill.
Yes, it's
I
terrible.
noticed her lips were a little blue. It looks like she had something happening on her neck too, like some zits or something. I don't know. There's some
Oh.
blood on her neck.
oh,
Should really
my.
look into that. Has she been hanging out with any shady characters lately? And I'll sip my tea.
Not that I'm aware of. She's been in bed for a couple of days.
I'm gonna roll a deception check. So I'm about to lie to her. So Sophia recently gave me this really cool device, and I'll pull out that technical device.
Oh,
The one that I found.
my. That looks quite elaborate.
Yeah, I don't even know what it is, to be totally honest. Have you ever seen anything like this? I know she brought it down from the top floor.
Yes, in fact, I have seen that before. Yes, that was Aubrechdralian's. Yes. What?
Well, I don't know why she gave it to me, first of all, but second of all, I don't even know what it does, and it looks like there's a piece missing here, and I'll point out the spot where the 6-inch cylinder is supposed to go.
She takes a look at it, and she's like, "Yes, it does look. It looks as though. Yes, I can see what you're saying. Something slides right in here. Interesting. You say
Anything that you know of?
You say Sophia gave this to you?
Yeah, I was looking into
So-
the murder of Aubrey, and me and Sophia had come quite close. And I'll go ahead and take out How to Learn Infernal in 10 days, and I'll hand it to her. And she lent me this book too. But I mean, I the book wasn't very useful, and this weird thing that she gave me doesn't do anything.
Well, are you returning the items then? Is that?
Well, I'm definitely returning the book. I feel it'd be disrespectful of me to return a gift.
Oh, well.
But I mean, but it would also be weird if I didn't at least inquire about this missing piece that's supposed to go into it too.
Well, I don't know what that would be.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate this tea. This is delicious. Thank you so much. But I mean, I really just needed to return this book was the big thing. So, I mean, I guess I really hope Sophia feels better, and I hope your day is good too.
Well, I'll tell her that you stopped by.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
Very good.
And you know what? Just don't even worry about the item. Like, whatever fits into this, I'm sure I can get one somewhere else.
Well, best of luck to you.
I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Lucida. And you know what? If
Oh my!
If
the tea was very good, I guess.
yeah, that's super good tea. Holy moly, it's a little hoppy.
We call
You
it
know, if-
Cascadian tea.
Ah, so good. I well, okay, maybe not personally, but like, there's a great, wonderful lady named Whimsy who's just a few hours north of here in Burl. Burl. I
Brule's up near Greyhawk.
Sophia could afford it. I would say send for Whimsy. She may be able to help Sophia, and I know Sophia can afford her help, but it sure seems like whatever's befallen Sophia is at least from my personal experience, it's not good.
No,
It
not
looks
at all.
really uncomfortable.
Right? Yes, I fear for her life. Whims, you say?
So, yes, Whimsy, and tell her. Well, actually, tell her Rhunar sent you. Don't tell her I sent you, because I mean, I don't even think Rhunar likes me.
Oh my!
And his sidekicks, Irin. I saw him tear a door off of a fortress.
Yes, you mentioned that earlier.
He really doesn't like me.
Well, I don't know. I don't see why that would be. You're a fine young gentleman. It's strange at times, but
it's not my fault. I think he just misunderstands me. It's not my fault. But I mean, thank goodness I have Theo. Maybe you know Theo. He may have hit on you.
Which one was he again?
He's the one with the long name that you can't pronounce. He's very charismatic. And,
Oh yes.
And he casts spells on people. You know. I think he's a necromancer.
Terrible.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm sorry, Lucida. I've taken up too much of your time, and I should really get back to my ship. I gotta pee something fierce.
Oh my, that's disgusting.
I'm so sorry. These things just come out of me. It's just, the words.
At that point, she just downs the rest of her tea and she sets it down. She says, "Very well then, off you go."
Thank you so much. Have a nice day, or week even.
I think that is our cue to take a little break, everybody. So let's take a quick 15-minute break, and then we'll come back and play out the rest of our session. How's that sound?
Oh, thank goodness.
Oh yeah.
Gotta
Sounds
be.
good.
All right.
I'll be back.
All right.
When are we coming back, sir? What you say?
Let's do
15?
Yeah, whenever you guys get back, but you know,
Okay.
up to 15 minutes. Okay.
This is the first time that we have run the Twitch live stream. In the past, it's been primarily recording and then uploading to YouTube, which we'll continue to do. But it's super cool to see that there's actually people watching. We did not expect that. So, Phoenix Iwaki, good to see ya. Yeah, we're in Greyhawk. This is based on the Saltmarsh book that Wizards of the Coast put out for 5e, but we have tweaked it and mixed it up and turned it on its head a little bit. So but that's where we are currently. Really appreciate you stopping by. Kirk Ski Bob, good to see ya. And looks like we've got Chad is in here, North Shore DM. I kind of forgot about the chat, so it's cool to see that you guys are watching that. I appreciate it. So cool. Well, that's exciting. There's people interested in this. That's great. Greyhawk is a super fun place to play, and we've been at it for about 10 months or so, since March. Looks like we've got the guys back here. Guys, there's actually some people watching our stream.
I know. I've been moderating it. All 2 people.
Hey, that's really cool, man. Thanks for doing that.
Hey, I'm one of those people too. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, you're Kirk Ski Bob?
I'm Kirk Ski Bob.
You
Yeah.
old rascal. We're watching our
I
own
had to
stream.
watch it. You know, I had to watch it just in case people had questions, and if you weren't paying attention, I was going to answer.
I kind of forgot about it, to be honest. This is the first time we've ever done a live stream, so all of the stuff that we've done.
Well, it was the first thing that crossed my mind because I watched a lot of live streams.
Nice, yeah, that's great. I'm glad you guys thought of that. Yeah, I mean, everything we've done up until this point has been pre-recorded and then uploaded to YouTube, so we will continue to do that. But yeah, this is pretty cool. So it's fun. It's good fun. All right, let's see here. We're all back. So, Byron, you leave the Dralian estate and make your way back to the Good Buddy? Or was there something else that you wanted to do as well? At this point, it's dark. It's after dark as you're leaving the estate.
No, you know, I might mention in passing us searching for the gold
The conch shell?
conch shell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll mention it in passing to Thalassatis, even though I know I've already dropped it off. I might just mention
I think
it
you
in
did
passing.
already. I think
And
you
we're gonna
did
find
mention
this
to her.
thing. Thalassatis?
Yeah,
I know I
think when
mentioned
you
it to
first
the other
got there.
people.
Well, either way,
Well, sweet.
you,
Yeah, I'll
you
mention
mentioned
it
to
again
her.
then.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so she bids you farewell and you leave the estate. What are Irin and Rhunar doing at this point? It is now
Well-
pretty much nighttime. The sun has set over the Azure Sea.
Theo sorted out our food.
Yeah, we still just need
Right.
to identify. We have to identify how many days of food.
Should we say 2 weeks?
Good to me. Yeah.
How much would that be? Do we have any idea? Like a rough?
Well, you've got 12
14
people.
days times 3.
So you got 12 people. You've got 14 days. So multiply 12 by 14. That's going to be 168. And then that's
Or are you going by rations?
yeah,
So
pretty
like one-
much. Yeah,
one
Rations
gold per
are
day.
five silver a day
Yeah.
for a person.
yep, for a comfortable
so-
meal. So multiply 168 by 5 silver, and that will give you. So
And
that's,
then how many silvers are in a gold?
10.
So it'd be 840 divided by 10 for the gold price. 168 times 5.
Yep,
Yep.
Wait.
Yep.
And
Do
then
168 times 5.
that's 840.
yep.
It'd
So
be
then-
64
Divide that by,
gold.
and then divide that by 2. Right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Man, my
84
math.
gold.
No, so
The outdoor leadership math.
No, it'd be by
no
10.
math.
by 10. So it'd be 84 gold
Yes.
Yep,
Yeah.
84
Yeah,
gold
84
for
gold.
2
for
weeks
two,
of rations.
2 weeks rations.
Okay, so I'll take that off the ship budget.
Okay.
Sweet.
Accounting.
I know, it's so interesting.
It's the fourth pillar of Dungeons and Dragons, everybody. It's
It
accounting.
really is.
Welcome to the Twitch stream.
If you want to play by the
Exactly.
rules.
We are looking for an additional player. It must be a CPA.
Must
What's a CPA?
must be good with spreadsheets.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. Oh man, I forgot that already. It's 84 gold. All right.
Yeah, 84 gold. So yeah, you've got 166 units of repair supplies. You've got 2 weeks of rations for the entire crew. That's all 12 of you.
How much was the repair supplies?
Well, Byron paid for that, and he spent 150 gold. 200 gold. Sorry, he spent 200 gold.
Byron, are you planning on being
And
compensated?
I gave
by
an
the
extra
ship fund?
an extra 5 gold.
Certified public accountant. That's what it's.
Byron, do you want to charge that to the boat?
I mean, yeah, I do.
Okay. What was it again? 165?
It was 165,
No.
and I gave him 40 gold as a bonus to get
Yep.
it.
205 gold total.
Really?
And that includes the 150 units of repair materials and the diagram schematics for the bolts that can deliver some sort of a flammable device.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I'll have to make that.
So a total of 205, you said that was.
Yes.
205. I'm putting that back in my account, regardless.
Yeah, put that back. I just charged it to the boat.
How much do you guys have in the boat account?
Let me figure that. I was just about to figure that out. So,
Oh my goodness. All right.
we got a lot. We got enough.
Turns out
Yeah.
negative 12.
You guys have a
million.
little nest egg. All right, so
All right.
the four
so
of you.
after
Go ahead.
we have 451 gold left.
Okay. Well,
We started with 901
hopefully you can sell some cargo when you get to Monmerg.
before today's.
Yeah, we have the contact now.
Okay, so the four of you are back on the Good Buddy. It is evening. Some of the men are passing around some wine, and there's a lot of excitement about the upcoming voyage. You guys are free to do if there's anything that you want to do in the evening, or do you want to update each other on things that you've done or anything that happened throughout the day. Feel free to do that now.
Yeah, let's just touch base real quick.
All right, I bought
in my quarters.
All right, good call.
And deck.
Not on
At
deck.
the top of our lungs.
I had a good idea.
Is
Let's
Theo
bring Fritz on this.
is Theo the
I'll
other
put
Twitch?
Fritz in.
I don't think so.
Oh, that would be great.
Theo's got some surprisingly accurate input. Whatever. So I'm assuming, Byron, what'd you get up to today?
All right.
You didn't kill anybody, did you?
No, I swear I didn't. I didn't steal anything either. I thought about it for a long time. I went to the Carpenters Guild. I bought 150 units of repair supply for our ship.
Good.
And then I stopped by the Drowning Estate and I touched base with Sophia. She was pretty fucked up.
I did hear that she was sick.
Yeah, she was like, her lips were blue. She was like barely able to breathe. She was like bleeding out of her neck.
Out of her neck.
Yeah, she had like these, it almost looked like she had been stabbed in the neck 2 times. Really quick. Maybe at the same time. I don't know. I don't know. It was the weirdest looking, but I think she might have been poisoned, guys. And then Yeah, and then I came back to the ship pretty much.
Well, we didn't have as interesting a day, but we did get a contact in Monmerg. We joined the Mariners Guild. Rhunar's now. I'm now a full-fledged member. We got a banner and everything. It's pretty cool.
Did they give us anything to ship?
No, we didn't, but I guess we forgot to ask around about that. We do have this cargo already, but I don't think our boat's exactly full, right?
No, we could probably even set something up tonight.
Dave, could we tell like approximately how much more our boat could hold?
You're probably at like half capacity, maybe a third, perhaps.
So we could probably take on some more cargo and drop it off. Not anywhere really. Where do you guys want to go? You want to go to Monmerg? I think we need to.
That's our next logical destination. You said you had a contact there.
Yeah, we got a contact. I got the feeling he might not be a close associate of Mr. McCallum, but it was a contact anyway, and I guess this guy in Monmerg is a real hustler, I guess. Can move does a lot of business anyway. I guess there's also
we'll probably be able to sell what we got. So
yeah, I guess we could also stop in Engelberg on the way.
That's not a bad idea. We can fly our new flag to Engelberg, pick up a bunch of supplies, head for Monmerg, offset what we have.
We could see if anybody wants to send anything from here to Engelberg via the guild. And then sail on to Monmerg. Should we try to earn some money on the way, or?
How late in the evening is it, Dave?
It's late.
Pretty dark. He said.
Yep. It's after sunset. It's dark. It's night. It's late night right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, or I guess we could do that first thing in the morning and still be out by, sometime mid-morning or before noon, I'm assuming.
I say we wake up at 5 in the morning, or we make up like right before the sun sets. We go hit the Carpenters Guild, the Mariners Guild. We can maybe even hit the fisheries, maybe catch something there, pick up as much of what they have to sell to Engelberg as we can and go. And we leave by 10 a.m. We could pay a little extra to have them load it quick and make our money back by getting to Engelberg with super fresh.
Could we,
catch,
Dave?
Super fresh fish.
You can certainly try. You can certainly try.
Aye. What do you think?
This is like a crash course in merchanteering.
I think Irin just. Irin wants to get the fuck out of Saltmarsh.
I do.
Irin's eyes just kind of glaze over as you guys start talking about your business, your big business plans.
Yeah. We could just leave it right before the sun rises.
Yeah,
which is funny because I have a background in business, which is why I hate it so much.
To be honest, I don't want to get involved in what's going on with Sophia.
No, I don't either. That's why I'm saying we get what we can and go. But we maximize profits if we're going to Engelberg, or otherwise I say we skip Engelberg, head straight to Monmerg.
Well, I mean, we're ready now, right? We got our stuff, we got our supplies. We don't.
I mean, it is nighttime. We don't. Do we want to
We can't leave now.
Well, morning,
I mean, we could. We could sail at night.
Technically, you could, but it would be a little crazy, right? Navigationally, It's
Yeah,
not like they have
those
buoys.
with water vehicles background know that it's a bit treacherous to sail at night.
Which is why I would suggest it, since I don't have a water vehicles back.
Exactly.
It's totally fine.
Dude, it's safe.
Yeah,
God.
I do
I don't-
have a water vehicles background.
I don't know if we
will
could.
say.
I don't know if we could get out of the harbor safely without daylight.
Yeah.
We could leave at first light.
Yeah, I mean, like, when the sun's just starting to rise and it's not over the, not over the horizon yet, you still get that nice bright.
You know what? I think we should just leave first light. What do you think,
Yep,
Monmerg?
Let's do it.
let's do it.
Yeah.
How
let's get out
much?
of here.
Just out of curiosity, how much does Rhunar? How familiar is Rhunar with Engelberg?
I guess I don't know.
What about
Is there
Engelbert?
Was there any?
Humperdinck.
I guess in his marine days, he might have had some experience there, but
Mhm.
they're kind of close to Seaton.
Roll a history check.
All right.
Let's find out. A 10. Okay. Yeah, you can decide if you've been
Almost
to
a 20.
Engelberg before. That's up to you in terms of your backstory. But what you do recall, it's been a while since you've been there, if you have been there, is that
Yeah, I'd say I've been there.
Engelberg is located on Angler Island, and it's a town a little bit, probably very similar in size to Saltmarsh, maybe slightly smaller than Saltmarsh. A thriving fishing community, and it has one of the most protected anchorages, a natural anchorage in all of the Viscounty of Sallinmore. So one thing that you do also recall is that while it is known as bountiful in terms of its fisheries in the area, even more so than Saltmarsh, which is hard to imagine given their recent success in the fishing realm. But the currents around Engelberg are super treacherous. It's really dangerous if you don't understand the currents there. So traveling at night would be something akin
Bad.
to suicide.
Yeah.
So you remember that. So the things it's a small town, it's a fishing community, very prosperous fishing community. It has a very protected natural anchorage, and the currents near this island are treacherous.
Um,
And you probably also recall that they are known for a fish that really only occurs in the deep water trenches near Angler Island called rahas. It's delicious.
I say we go straight to Monterey.
with a half-empty boat.
I mean,
I just wanna,
are we fucking merchants or are we whatever?
we're on a mission here. Let's
We'd
get.
have-
I
We'd have
want to get
several days to decode the journal.
right. So I'll study. Well,
We should
Engelberg's
start that
only
tonight.
a day, so I'll just do that tonight.
Yeah. We're not
just
going to
like
Engelberg,
fish.
though. We're going to Monmerg. That'd be more than one day, right, Dave?
It'll be like 2 days.
Yeah,
2
Monmerg
days.
is 90 miles.
We get that in like what, 2.5 days?
So it's 15 hexes, so you could do that in a little over 2 days. Just slightly over 2 days if conditions are good.
Yeah, I say we go straight to Monterey. So what? Our ship's a little bit light. It'll sail.
All right.
Nothing will weight it down. We'll catch the wind
Got it.
better.
We've got enough money to make it there. We've got
Yeah.
enough money to figure out stuff while we're there, and we should be able to sell what we have now to make some money to be able to do stuff. when
Yeah,
we're
we could
there.
use a little more boat money.
Yeah.
But I think,
Fine.
yeah, from what I understand, we could sell the silk and the wine. And we could even, I mean, it doesn't sound like many ships get up towards Not that I'm sure we're in too much of a hurry to get back to Saltmarsh, but McCallum mentioned that, this guy could also help us with cargo back towards Saltmarsh.
So he's a good opportunity for when we're headed back north. But
Yeah, we'll keep it in mind. Yeah.
All right.
yeah. In the meantime, guys, and I feel weird bringing this back up because it's been a while since we've talked about this, but we do have this map fragment. Do we have two or just one?
We just have one, I'm pretty sure.
So we have a map fragment. We have evidence in the journal that pirates may be holding more map fragments.
We have a name of a pirate ship, if I remember right. Didn't we?
The name of
which
a pirate
one?
ship?
I don't know, man.
What do you mean?
I thought we had a name from the journal or from something about somebody he suspected had other map fragments. Or maybe I'm thinking of Solana because Solana had a map fragment or something.
Yeah, let me check. I got some notes here.
Yeah.
There's Matreus's map, but
Okay, map fragments.
and there's the Emperor of the Waves.
So Dralian got a fragment of a map sent to him by Armand. It was made by Matreus, Tiberian Matreus.
Who's
The
the
map,
seeker?
the rest of which disappeared with Matreus in the Amadio, is said to reveal the location of Tomoachan. Armand says there had been inquiries about the whereabouts of the map from parties in Gradzul and Nile Draw. The Iron Gate Lodge seems to believe that other fragments have resurfaced among pirates from the hold. The timing of interest in the map seems more than a coincidence.
Let's get there.
So that's where we're heading.
And then you
The
said,
hold.
Byron, you
Right.
mentioned that you have in your possession a piece of the map or a map fragment as well.
No, I don't. I know we do as a whole because we brought it up.
And that's
Rhunar has his map fragment.
Yep. So Rhunar has a map fragment.
And can you remind us where that came from?
So the map fragment, as you guys might remember, I took off of the boat the pirate ship that attacked the Soul of Winter
Volchek's ship.
on the way back from recovering Dralian's box. Yeah,
Which was the Emperor of the Waves, or no?
We recovered it from the Emperor of Waves. My ship was called the Soul of Winter. We were on our way back, and we got attacked by pirates, and that was Charlotte Volchek.
The Black Trident. That was the name of that
Black
ship.
Trident. And I found that map fragment in her cabin, in the pirate captain's quarters, with some black pearls, which I still have a couple of.
Oh yeah.
I never did find out how expensive those are.
Save them for a
Dave.
rainy day.
And then
Bravo.
ship fund because we're going to be broke quick.
Not too quick, depending on if we have to hustle along the way wherever we're going.
All right. Let's rest and get going.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna find Fritz. Just real quick. Are people still up, or are people like?
There's a couple of crew members that are still up. Fritz is on the deck, along with Emil, the cook, and you also see Kyle. And
Right,
they're just kind of hanging out on the deck, having a chat.
I'm just gonna tell Fritz. We're gonna leave at first light tomorrow. Spread the word.
Aye, aye, Captain. We'll be ready. Fantastic
And
news.
so-
Did you hear that, boys? We're leaving in the morning.
First light.
Hurrah! You hear them cheering, and they take one more swig of wine, and Kyle finishes off the wineskin and just pitches it over the side of the railing of the deck and cheers, and they start singing a little bit, and then they kind of wind down and they head down below quarters down to their hammocks. And
Wait.
the four of you settle in for a long rest.
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, as per usual, there are lookouts and guards set up throughout the night to take care of things. I don't know if any of you want to be involved in that or not, but let's get a. Does anybody want to be involved in the watch? First of all.
Nope.
I'll go and watch.
Okay. Irin, go ahead and roll a perception check and a d20 for me, and this will be, yeah.
There we are. Oh, that's not my character. Hang on. Should we roll 20? There we go. Here's my character. Reopening it. Nope, that didn't work. Alright, screw it. Nope. There. So there is, let's see.
There's your D20.
Perception. So perception is, what did I roll? 11. So my perception is a 15.
Okay.
And a D20. 16.
Okay, yeah. So throughout the night, you hear the faint sounds of Saltmarsh in the distance. Of course, you guys are anchored out in the harbor. You hear people shouting, yelling occasionally. It's not constant throughout the night, but there are some who apparently are celebrating something in town. It is a cloudless night with a beautiful display of the stars above. You even see a shooting star at one point, taking it as a bit of a good omen for the journey ahead of you. And nothing untoward happens throughout the night, either on your watch or on anyone else's watch. And
Sweet.
You wake up the next morning. The men are already awake before you. It looks as though they've been up for some time. They are getting the ship ready, and they are prepared to pull anchor. They are simply waiting for the command of their captain to identify a destination. So let's get that squared away first. Where are we headed, fellas?
All right, we're sailing for Monmerg,
Okay.
and I'll I need to set the course, right?
Yep. So I assume that you'll be captaining the ship.
Yeah, and Theo is the helmsman. I mean,
Yep.
right?
Theo is the helmsman. Byron usually is the boatswain, kind of taking care of repairs and that sort of thing. And then what I need you to do is I need 3 D20s.
Okay.
From anyone, or?
Let's just do one from each of you.
Oh, okay.
All right, so a 15 is the first one. Okay, so there's a light wind, light breeze, 10 for number 2. The ocean is just glass. It's just a calm day. The swell is very, very minimal. It's actually quite beautiful. And then a 3. Clear blue sky, bluebird day. You guys have like the best conditions, very favorable to your transport. Very nice. Okay, so because of those rolls, you will achieve the 7 hex per day travel for this first day. So as you leave port, you pull up anchor and you head out into the deeper waters and pull away from the. Let's go to the map here so we can kind of see where we're at. You pull away from Saltmarsh and head out towards making travel towards Monmerg. What I do need is we've got sort of the daily rolls. So as the captain sort of setting the course, the navigation side of it, Rhunar, I need you to make either a nature or survival check.
Okay. Survival.
And then let's see, Theo.
Oof.
A 10. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So a 10 gives you the ability to chart the course. It doesn't give you any bonuses, however, to the piloting check that Theo is going to make.
Right.
So he's going to go ahead and roll, let's see, wisdom, nature, or he's going to roll a nature check to execute the course that you've given him. Okay, so the good news is that you don't lose any time or any travel. You don't necessarily gain any either, but you do set off and you head south. Now, I would like one of you to roll a, let's see, Irin, roll a d20 for me.
Yes.
Ooh,
There you go.
Hey,
Okay.
somebody rolled a die.
nice. So luckily, you have clear sailings this day. You don't face any hazards that might arise as they do. And then, Byron, let's get a roll of a d20 from you as well.
Part of me says that's great, but the other part of me is like, I wanted to punch something.
So you set out and you do see a few ships that are coming into port as you're departing. Rhunar, you recognize one of the ships that you see as you're leaving Saltmarsh as a naval vessel from the Keelan Navy. It's hard to tell which. If you only had a spyglass, you might be able to tell what this particular ship was. But you do see the colors that it's flying. Now, question: are you guys flying the Mariners Guild colors?
Yeah, I'm gonna have. I think we should fly him. What do you guys think?
Today? I mean, at least.
While we're close to.
I think we should. Why do we need to fly a flag? Why do we need to just fly a flag at all?
So
We can fly a flag
Nobody
when we
thinks we're a
encounter a
pirate?
ship, can't we?
Yeah, I mean, that's.
I think while we're in Navy waters, I think we should fly a flag.
Let's fly the good buddy flag.
Yeah, so nobody.
And everyone will be
stops
like,
us.
"What the fuck is that?" And they'll investigate instead of attacking. And beating
I
them.
think we should fly the guild flag.
Yeah, that's going to cause us the least amount of problems, I think.
Yeah.
Out here.
The guild flag.
Yeah, they might not recognize the good buddy flag, but they'll know the guild flag.
Nobody's going to know the good buddy flag.
Did you guys make your own Guild Buddy flag? I don't remember.
Rhunar had
don't
some
think we
ideas,
did.
but no.
I know we talked about doing it. I don't know if we ever actually did it.
I think you did in
I don't know if we ever did.
Yeah, you did.
Would
Your characters did, but I don't think you guys actually designed anything.
We
should,
would
though.
have
It'd be
to
kinda
get
cool.
it made somewhere, or would be able to do that ourselves?
You probably had it made in town.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
But
that would be.
I would say-
sufficient.
I would say we do have a flag, but I don't know what it looks like right now.
Yeah.
All right, I got this.
It's
Two
It's
hands.
the buddy. It's the Buddy Christ, but with like a tricorn.
Sketch it
It
up.
could just be
I have some ideas.
2 hands.
We'll use it as your. If you guys sketch something up, we can use the logo as your ship token as we travel the
Fit.
seas.
2 thumbs up, fist bumping.
Oh, you just motivated me. I have a great idea.
Yeah, do it, man. Do it. That'd be fun. All right, so you guys hoist the colors of the guild, and you set out for a beautiful day. It's amazing to have, for those of you with the sailor, mariner, or marine background, which I think would be Rhunar for sure as a marine, Theo as a sailor, and then Byron, you're a boatswain. So for the three of you specifically, it feels good to be on the open ocean, the wind in your hair. You see a few scattered gulls as you pass the islands just offshore of Saltmarsh, the Standing Stone Island and that sort of thing. There's a big flock of gulls that roost there. But as you get farther out into the Bay of Javon, there's just nothing. You don't see any ships. You just see the blue, the deep azure blue waters of the ocean as you head south towards Monmerg. And the day goes by without any sort of problems. The crew is extremely fired up. Morale is high. You guys have a right now, in terms of your morale resource, you've got a 5. So somebody might want to jot that down, which is good. When you get down to 0, things start getting interesting. But yes, things go great, and everybody's clicking and efficient, and Fritz is in his element, giving orders and making things happen. And you really don't have to do a whole lot other than, steer the ship, or Theo's doing that. So, but yeah, the first day goes by without any sort of sidetracking or anything like that. You make it to the end of a long day of travel. Your men are tired, and you decide to. So you can do a couple of things. You can press on through the night with some substantial disadvantages, or you can take a rest, as most ships would do, and not travel at night to be safe.
Do that.
Well, I mean, you're still out in the middle of the ocean, right?
You are, and you still need to have somebody at the helm, and
Right.
and you still need to have someone that's watching to keep it
We
an eye.
need to hold our course.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have you would have the sails furled, so that the wind isn't pushing you and you're mostly kind of drifting on a course.
Big difference between holding an unmoving course to attempting to continue an actual course by the stars. I mean, obviously, we've been doing it as humans for a long time, but
that's why I wonder, because normally you don't just stop a boat.
Biggest for error.
Like, they just keep going with the wind.
And they often have a crew that's big enough to be able to have 2 shifts, because if you're operating, with a small crew on a ship like this, you're going to be running the risk of exhaustion.
Okay.
Yep.
And we are running a small crew, so I think we should rest, guys.
I mean, technically, we're running a full crew, so.
But we don't have shifts. We don't have enough to, we have a full crew to sail.
We technically have 12 people, which is twice what a skeleton crew is, which means we could run 2 shifts.
Right, but the second shift would be a disadvantage for being at night, and I wouldn't sleep because I'd probably have to. I don't know. Theo definitely wouldn't sleep, right? Because he's like helms.
I mean, it's a normal thing that ships have to deal with.
Yeah, you could do it. You could make it happen.
You
just have to plan for it.
Yeah, just because. Yeah, but I mean, we can just chill for the night. I don't think that's a problem.
It's too late, Irin. You've convinced me. Let's sail.
Well, what's the point, really? Like, are we in a huge rush?
Let's do it. Let's sail. I mean, we're in the middle of it. I mean, what's the worst case scenario?
Mechanically, though, that's what I'm talking about, Dave. Like, mechanically,
I don't care about mechanics. I think about the story.
Yeah, I've been in that story, and the story is we all become vampires pretty soon.
I mean, are we going to have points of exhaustion tomorrow?
It depends on how you roll. Like, who are the crew members that are gonna take the night shift, because they will tomorrow have exhaustion, because you didn't really sort of establish.
Yeah, that's the big thing, is we didn't plan for that, so we aren't prepared to run in shifts.
Yeah,
which
you can do. Yeah,
take a night.
I haven't missed the night of rest. I will do a night shift.
Yeah, you can watch. You can take watch for all of us while the rest of us sleep.
Deal.
I think
And
we've
I'll do
earned
both
it.
of stuff at the same time.
I think we just rest and then
Yeah.
In
do
the
a
future,
nuke.
you can certainly set it up that way, but just so you know, like when you're traveling at night, there are some challenges that arise because you can't really see things very well.
Right.
If we can
Like-
see the sky and
like
stars,
whales.
we gave you that.
Kraken.
Yeah.
Islands.
We could wait until night and look at the sky.
An entire island. That's
Reefs.
right. Reefs.
Reefs.
Icebergs.
Yeah. Yeah, seeing the sky isn't the problem as long as it's a clear day. It's seeing what's below you that might be a challenge. Or right in front of you. Yeah. So, just something to think about, but you guys can totally do it.
Yeah. Having been on the big lake at night. No.
The- Dave, we got
Let's
we
do
got
it!
the maps. The maps we got are for to the south that we bought.
The map that you bought is essentially the map that you're looking at on the screen.
Okay. All right.
Yep. So it covers everything from
Down to Point Tully.
Roundest. Yeah, exactly. Yep, down to Point Tully.
Gotcha.
Port Tully. Although I think I like Point Tully better. Nah, see, I can't even say that. That's
Port-
okay.
Point Toily, where
Tully.
they make doilies.
Point.
They're known for their
All right,
doilies.
Captain's orders, we rest.
All right.
There you go. All right.
But
So
we
you guys take a
set
rest.
watches.
You set up watches. Obviously, someone has to man the helm, and they do this in shifts. So, would any of you like to take a watch or man the helm, or are there other things that you'd like to do with your time in the evening?
I'll take a watch.
Okay.
I would take helm.
Okay.
And I'll meet up with Korga and Tamis. And I'll pull them aside.
Okay. All right. So let's first of all let's do the watch. So, Irin, why don't you roll a perception check and a d20 for me?
Oh yes, I'm so perceptive.
It's been a long day.
It has been a long day.
Okay.
Oh no.
So Irin, you do you find yourself tired and having a hard time concentrating, but you're also a little preoccupied with your brother and just the idea that you're making some progress again. Like you're moving what you believe to be is in the direction of your brother, which feels right.
Okay.
It feels good, right?
Yeah.
So you're thinking about that and what you might say when you see him, or all that whatever that sort of thing might be. Rhunar, you take the helm, and why don't you roll a perception check as well?
Okay.
And just for the hell of it, roll a water vehicles check
All right.
with dexterity as your modifier of choice. Nice. Yep. Feels good to be behind the helm of the ship. To have Saltmarsh behind you. You look up at the sky and you see the familiar constellations that you've seen 1,000 times on nights just like this when you've been on active duty with the Keelan Navy, and you reminisce a little bit to yourself of some of the adventures that you've had prior to meeting this gang, and you're wondering kind of what's going to happen in the future. But you have a keen eye on the horizon, you have a keen eye on the heavens above, and a strong hand on the wheel of the ship.
I'm just gonna enjoy a pipe while I do that.
Yeah, as you should. Yeah. All right, so Byron, you go below decks and you find Tamis and Korga in their quarters, kind of getting ready to sack out.
Guys, you're not sacking out. We're gonna play a game of poker.
Oh shit!
Both of us, all three of us, right now.
Oh shit!
and we'll play a game of poker.
Okay.
But like, I will purposefully throw a massive 25 gold hand against both of them, so that they both get 25 gold from me.
Okay. They're like, Jesus, I haven't played this kind of poker ever. You're fucking lucky, man. They just keep pulling pulling great hands, you know, like full houses and, you know, amazing, a royal flush even at one point, and they're just loving it.
Nice. Yeah, that's. And then once I've given them a fair amount of money, I'll look at them and I'll be like, guys, I'm sorry, I know I put you guys in a hard position, and you guys didn't rat me out, and because of that, you know what? You're one of the guys now.
Korga looks at you and he says, well, Byron, it is what it is. You might say we're good buddies.
Hell yeah.
I'll do the elbow grasp warrior handshake thing that people do, and I'll look him in the eyes and I'll just be like, we are good buddies. And I'll do it to both of them, and then I'll walk off just in like in a quiet,
The edge of the ship.
stoic. Yeah, maybe I'll jump into the ocean. I don't know. No, I'm not going to do that.
That's funny. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, they you know, they get it. They understand what you're trying to say, and they are, if nothing else, loyal to their crew, and you've witnessed that loyalty in action of them
Twice now.
Yeah.
Of two different groups.
Yep. Yeah, it's a solid, like, from your perspective, you've thrown in with a pretty solid crew. They, you know, there was some questions at the very beginning when you guys wrestled control of the ship from Bloody Bjorn.
Captain Snake Eyes.
Captain Snake Eyes, yep. But now you really feel like there's a bit of a family here. The good buddies. Right on, man. So
Get rid of the deck wizard, and you won't believe how nice people are.
Hey, we could use a deck wizard right about now.
We really could.
I see.
One of you I thought one of you hated deck wizards.
I do.
I personally despise deck
Oh,
wizards.
how the
but
times have changed, huh?
I'm now that I have
You
a
can't
deck.
call for a deck wizard.
Now that I have a deck, I want a wizard for it.
You'll destroy our deck
Oh
wizard.
my god.
I guess Theo could be our deck warlock. It doesn't have the same ring.
No, it doesn't.
It really doesn't.
A deckromancer?
Or the same level. Nice. Yes.
A decromancer.
A decromancer.
I like it.
That's really good.
I raised from the grave a third mass, and it will be there with the spirits.
The
You heard it here,
decromancer.
folks. It's the new subclass coming live from Guild Superior, Decromancer.
That's right.
Or just deck wizard.
Oh my god. Decromancer is great.
I love it.
Oh, you guys. All right,
I'm gonna
so
write some notes.
yeah, write that down.
We would rather not sailing to do stuff.
Decromancer.
Yep. I love it. Okay, so day 2. You wake up feeling refreshed, feeling prepared. You've worked out the kinks. There weren't really that many to work out, but you're feeling good. And we know the destination is Monmerg. With any luck, you might even be there by nightfall, based on your examination, Rhunar, of the charts. Go ahead and roll a d20 for me
Right?
for your navigation check.
Oh. Well, can I do the...
Yeah, sorry. It's going to be a nature or survival check.
Okay.
14. Nice. Okay, so Theo, let me bring up his. He is going to. It's a pretty, especially with the maps that you have. they provide you with some a mechanical benefit as well as just a narrative benefit to charting a course and following a course. Let's get there we go. So he is going to have a +1 to his nature check to follow the course that you've set. And he does so not with any sort of benefit to the travel speed of the ship per se, but he is able to follow the course that you have set, Rhunar. What I do need is the 3 of you each to roll a d20 to see what kind of conditions we have. So there's a light wind, calm seas again, very similar to the previous day, and just a clear blue sky. Just another beautiful day on the Azure Sea. As you are able to get another 7 hexes. So what did we say it was total from Saltmarsh? It was 15.
You said 15.
15, yeah.
Yep,
So you go ahead and roll. Let's see. Let's do Rhunar. Why don't you roll a d20 for me?
Okay.
And Irin, roll a second d20 for me, just to see what happens throughout the day.
Oof.
Okay.
Oh,
So
man.
as the previous day, you find yourselves making good time. The weather is absolutely beautiful. You don't see any other ships on the horizon until late in the day. You see very faint on the horizon. You hear one of the crew members, Kyle, who's up in the crow's nest, call out, "Ship on the horizon!" And it's a ways off. You can barely see it. If you had a spyglass, you'd be able to see it much better. But because you don't have a spyglass, it's really hard to make out.
Of course.
If I would have known that Rhunar would never get a spyglass, Korkoros might have stayed around.
Yeah, he had one, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He stole one, I
Yeah.
think.
I got it. Well, I mean, to be fair, they were pirates,
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. To be fair.
and I had just killed the fake captain.
Sure, use the spyglass right now.
You
The real captain.
you could have yeah, there was a fake captain. I forgot about that. So you see a ship on the horizon, and you continue on, and you see a couple more ships, and you can also see kind of looming ahead of you as it starts to, you can see about, on a calm day, they say that you can see maybe like 12 miles on the horizon. I don't know how exact that is, 11 miles, 11.6 or something like that. So you can see, out a distance, and towards the end of the day, you can start to see the landmass in front of you, which is the sort of this peninsula that Monmerg sits on. As looking at the map, it's like you can see this part of the shoreline approaching, right? And you get very close. You could potentially push it, and you'd be coming into port after dark if you wanted to, or you could lay anchor in some of the shallower areas as you get closer to Monmerg and wait to enter the port the next day. You've not been to Monmerg, so you don't really know much about how things are done at the port, but you do you see other ships that are anchored out in that general area offshore, and there's not a whole lot of activity as the sun sets and darkness sets in. There's not a whole lot of activity in the harbor going in and out at this point.
Yeah, I think we should anchor. Now, if we were anchored in one of those locations, is that like beyond paddle boat distance to get to Monberg? Like if we wanted to just anchor the boat?
Yep, you're still a ways out. You're like I mean, if hex wise you're like 6 miles away. That's a long row.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just like a sheltered harbor maybe that is
It's
still a ways away.
a low area that you feel confident that you could anchor and stay the night and then enter the port the next day.
Okay, I think we should do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
No sense
Yeah, I
in
agree.
trying to enter a harbor at night.
Without real lights.
Yeah,
Right.
or navigation equipment, or radios,
Or
or anything.
GPS.
Yeah. Anything a modern boat uses.
Yeah.
Right.
God, it
You
must
do have a
been treacherous.
decromancer, though.
Yeah. So I'll just give the order to Fritz to anchor
Aye, aye, Cap.
for the night. And we'll hit the
Probably
harbor
gonna be
tomorrow.
My next character is going to be a Dacromancer.
Absolutely. Okay, so do any of you want to either well, you don't need someone on the
journal.
helm. You
Yeah,
could.
have you read the journal at all, dude?
Yeah, we meant to do the
I
journal.
haven't, no. You know,
We'll do it tonight.
okay.
Yeah.
You know, I'm actually not going to do it tonight. Tonight I'm going to do a run of the ship, do a boatswain check.
Do you lose like a night of sleep when you do the journal?
If I do the journal, I can gain advantage and lose my rest.
That sounds good. The ship's great.
It's super good, but like
Look at it.
without, you
That
know,
fucking guy's eating off of the deck.
what about our ship? What about our ship? Should we worry about their ship?
No.
I mean, our ship was fine a day and a half ago when we left.
I thought you were going to do the journal like last
All
night.
right. Well, you know what?
Last night would have been a better night.
No, I needed to talk to the boys. I needed to
Totally
talk to
forgot.
Porter and Tamis.
Oh, that's right.
You know, I put them in a tough spot.
I heard you made good on a
talk
couple
to 'em?
things there.
I mean, I talked to him for sure.
Hung out with them.
Yeah, you know, I just wanted to tell him, how much I appreciate it. You know, it's tough being. Well, it's tough for them. They have to listen to what I say, and I put them in a really bad position.
Yes, you did.
That sucks for them. And I feel a little bit bad about that. So I had to, I made good. But you know what? If you guys don't care about the boats,
I feel like
I
you've got. I don't think the boat's a problem today.
I really think we need
Alright,
to figure
I'll do
out
it.
something else with that journal, though. We need a new journal entry.
I'm gonna find Theo. He's been kind of a recluse the last few days.
He's around. He's just been quiet. He's been having some deep conversations with sales.
Yep. So I'm gonna go find Theo and be like, Theo, I know you've been kind of busy. Is it all right if you would help me with Drownian's journal?
I mean,
Or
yeah.
maybe I can help you with Drownian's journal.
I mean,
'cause you're
yeah.
pretty
Let's sit down and take a look at it.
smart. Let's do it.
You want him to do the rolling?
Yep.
All right. Let's see. I'm gonna have you actually roll it. So
Okay.
this
What
is
do they? Is it investigation?
Yep. He has a +3 to investigation. So roll a d20 +3 with advantage. So an 18.
15. He already had the +3.
Oh, you already had the +3. Got it. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So you do. You get an entry. Let's see here. It is gonna be.
The lowest level.
It's gonna be like the worst entry.
Ha!
And today I got scurvy.
The weather was a little overcast today.
No, it's gonna be like I
But
was
I was
murdered
inside,
by.
you know.
If I die, I was
Ugh.
murdered by.
I was feeling really
Eleander
itchy.
Fireboard.
Do you think that girl likes me?
Then I
Right.
got really hungry later.
All right. So I'm gonna show this one to you guys.
Serious
You
case
have
of John.
unlocked journal
Ooh.
entry number 9. I'll give you a chance to read that.
in the bottom of Byron's.
Did we recover the save?
Well, I have the safe still.
Yeah, that's obviously the box.
It's obviously
yeah,
the
it's
box.
gotta be the box. It's gotta be the box.
Yeah.
Hey,
I mean, it
The
either
box
has.
is the safe.
are we? Where are we right now? Are we talking about this together? What's going on? Sorry.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just found it. I don't know if I shared it with you yet.
Yeah, Rhunar has no
Obviously,
right now.
obviously you did.
Yeah, Theo
reading
Theo
it
would have
right now.
Theo would have shared it with you guys. So you guys are
Theo has
okay.
no filter.
yeah. Yeah. So you guys are back in the captain's quarters right now, looking over this deciphered journal entry.
So this box has got to be the safe, right?
I mean, yeah.
Okay. I had this wild idea a while ago. It's super far-fetched, and I have no idea why it could possibly work, but do you think my sword might unlock the safe?
Didn't you try that once?
Did I try that?
I really thought you did.
Yeah, I think you did too.
I tried
I'm
touching the
Everyone
sword to it
I might be wrong.
And say a bunch of words to it.
because it was like Dralian's father's sword. So I tried touching the sword to the box.
Yeah, you did.
Nothing happened.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, never mind then. I'm
And I
still
whispered
clueless.
Chan to it,
Yeah.
Shit.
and that didn't do anything either a long time ago.
So there's probably a lot of money in there.
Whatever's in there is
More
worth
notes?
more than anything we have ever imagined.
I doubt it.
Didn't he give Rhunar 10
Wow.
for this? Just the box.
10,000 gold.
10,000 gold. I've never even seen that much money.
And it was probably like not
But
what
Iron Gate.
it's not what it's really worth. No, that's impressive to me. I don't know, 10,000 gold. Shit.
Yeah. Who knows?
It's interesting.
Who knows what's in there? It could be. I mean, it could be money that he was sending to Solana to secure stuff,
Yeah.
or it could
Yeah,
be.
sounds like it.
It could be like. I don't literally mean tools, but tools that assets, things that they would have used to figure out this Tomoe-chan or whatever.
God, just looking at this makes me
It could be
think that
both.
just looking at this makes me think there was so much on that boat that we probably missed.
Yeah, you guys did not do the most thorough investigation. No, to be fair, it was falling
kept
apart
getting
under your
attacked.
feet. Well, yeah, that too. But it was falling apart.
There was a spider temple in there.
Not to mention
And then
a
there was
giant
tentacles.
serpent. Yeah, some sort of sea monster. But yeah, you're right.
Fuck that place.
All right, everybody get some rest. This is something else to think about, but
I just had a crazy idea. Guys, what if we shot the ballista at the box?
that's not gonna do anything.
No.
It's magic. It's like magical. It's just gonna bounce off and
Look how big it is.
you'll
You
shoot
don't
your
wanna-
eye out, kid.
You
I haven't shot it yet.
don't want to break it.
We
It's
gotta shoot it.
that'd be a waste of a bolt. I'm
Getting
almost
into
positive.
something like this is a measured amount of force.
You're right.
I have a feeling the secret to it's in this journal somewhere. We just have to take advantage of every night off that way.
Or we need to find Solana.
It's been a while since
Hypothetically,
you
dude.
guys have investigated the journal. It's been a long
It's been a
time.
long while. Yeah.
Hey, hypothetically speaking,
We need a lot
what
more out
time
of
is
this
it
thing.
right now?
What's that?
What time is it right now?
It is late in the night.
So it's late in the night. So could I skip resting, be super exhausted tomorrow, and take another stab at the journal and maybe try and convince Theo to help me to make it not at disadvantage.
Roll a persuasion check. He's pretty tired. And he also realizes that he needs his faculties for the first day that you guys will be in Monmurg. You're not able to convince him with that roll. Yeah, he says no.
Not
I
with
need
that one.
You know, you go ahead. I'm gonna get some rest. It's a big day tomorrow.
Not like that.
God dang it! I'm gonna still skip sleeping.
Okay.
You've had 2 of those
I'm
tonight.
gonna try and investigate the journal by myself.
Okay.
Um,
So everybody else, I'm assuming, goes to bed after this conversation.
Yeah.
Okay. Irin takes his watch. Did you say you're
Yeah.
taking a watch? We already did that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we wrote that
Thank
before
you.
you did that.
Thanks for reminding me. Okay. So yeah. So Byron, you will have a point of exhaustion on the next day when we get to Monmurg. But yeah, go ahead and roll an investigation check. Let's see what happens here.
regular or with disadvantage?
So you used a short rest. So you can. Whew.
Could I do?
You know what? Yeah,
hypothetically, could I
yeah,
do it
you
at
could.
disadvantage?
Yep. I'll let you do it. You stay up the entire night. In fact, when everybody else is getting up in the morning, you're still feverishly, okay, this has got to mean this, and oh shit, okay, you're scribbling, and you're just up all night.
Right through.
Yep. Yeah. Go ahead and roll with advantage. Wow. Okay. Wow. That's substantial. All right.
Nice.
Holy, that's amazing. Okay, so
This one I won't immediately share with everyone because I assume I'm going to go to bed. But I will share it with them when I wake up. I.e.
Well, I mean, you could probably take some sort of rest while we're sailing from this spot to the harbor. Might be a
Yeah.
short rest, but
I could sleep in. I don't need to get off the boat the moment we get there, do I?
right. I don't. Short rest doesn't do anything for exhaustion, right? Sure,
no,
that works.
it does not.
Yeah,
All right,
I'll
so
put
let's see.
through
You are going to unlock entry 23. So one of the later entries.
SB.
Nice roll, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Scarlet Brotherhood.
Or Sirius Black, right? Yeah.
All right.
Holy shit, guys.
Those are two good
Children
entries.
from the throw.
Yeah, they almost had the map.
All right.
Solana's concerns.
Mm-hmm.
Holy moly.
Yeah. Holy moly, indeed.
I
Yikes.
thought everyone was like for a second.
So, Irin, Theo, and Rhunar wake up. The men have already prepared the ship, pulled up anchor. You see Byron just pacing back and forth on the deck, reading the journal. He's got the journal in his hand, and he's mumbling to himself. He looks exhausted.
I'm just gonna leave him to it. I'm not gonna interrupt.
Captain Dag, you give the order to unfurl the sail, and you make way for the port of Monmerg. Now, as you maneuver your ship into this vast harbor, you see before you the steep cliffs of what you can see on your map indicated as Skeen Island, which cuts through the deep azure waters and rises with this sort of semi-mountainous ridgeline that cuts along the length of the island like a jagged knife blade. And this island is like just offshore of the port. And what it does is it provides a bit of a protectionary feature in the landscape to create this this protected port, right? All manners of seabirds are swirling overhead, some of them even following closely behind your ship and also swarming and swirling around other ships. You can see as you get closer that there are a half a dozen to almost a dozen ships that are making their way into and out of this massive seaport. And you can see in front of you this sort of reveal of this cityscape. The port is buzzing with ships coming and going, and coming into view, you see the docks, this district that's just buzzing with activity. And even in the distance, you can catch the faint scent of food and the faint scent of filth. You begin to hear voices as you get closer, echoing off the steep cliffs, which graciously bow down towards the water and create this access point for the city and for the docks district. It almost sits perched between these large, jagged, granitic ridgelines that swoop down to the ocean. And you hear bells ringing and people shouting, and you pilot your ship towards an empty dock. Gentlemen, welcome to Monmerg. And with that, we're going to go ahead and end the session today, fellas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, did you want to
We're not in Saltmarsh anymore.
Did you want to say something, Rhunar? I didn't mean to cut you off there, but
I was just going to suggest maybe we don't dock right away. If there's in Saltmarsh, we could anchor in the harbor as
Sure.
opposed to the docks.
Yeah, absolutely. You can make that decision.
Okay.
You'll be able to make that decision at the beginning of the next session.
Yeah. Because if we dock, we might want to sell our stuff as soon as possible.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
so we don't pay dock fees.
Yep. You got to be taking all that into consideration now. You know that you guys
That's
are
the
running a business.
CPA and me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we just have to. We need enough money to stay afloat. That's the big thing.
Yeah. We don't have a
literally
real surplus right now.
Yeah, like how we make our money. It's not really we're kind of traders, but
it's mostly been adventuring.
I can pirate. Well, you guys don't pirate. You guys won't even know about my pirating. I'll pirate in secret.
Well, I think Monmerg.
I'm not sure you know how pirates work.
Might offer some opportunities. Just don't get caught and hung as a thief.
I will never be seen.
You guys are in the capital of the Hold of the Sea Princes, my friends.
This is not a good place to steal.
We will.
Probably not.
We're gonna.
Be interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. This is a much, much, much larger city. I mean, this is probably on, and probably not quite as big as Gradzul. I'll have to look that up, but it is a much, much bigger than Saltmarsh for sure. So
that's good. That I'm excited about that personally.
You have another fight club to become famous in.
Yeah, Runar's not famous here, so.
Yeah, you have an entire town to become famous in.
But I do have some money.
Yep. Yes, you do. Nice job, guys. You finally made it out of. Although you did abandon poor Sophia Dralian to whatever fate she is destined for.
She's gonna be just fine.
It's gonna be a town of vampires when we go back. When we go back.
The nightlife in Saltmarsh is about to be wild.
I don't know. It's probably already wild.
Mhm.
It's just getting wilder.
Mm-hmm.
So Monmerg
Straight.
is a large city, somewhere between 10 and 25,000 people,
That's-
according to Anna B. Meyer's map.
Yeah.
Unfortified. It's an open town.
Do they sell potions there?
Well, just to let you know, my Monmerg might deviate from whatever she
Might be different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So but yeah, it's big. That I agree with.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to see what happens. That's for sure.
Smaller than Iron Gate.
Yeah.
Do
Iron
we
Gate's
have
very
practice, right?
large.
It's a metropolis.
Yeah.
According to Anna B. Meyer's map,
Yeah.
it's a metropolis.
Yeah.
And fortified.
Pretty cool. Heavily
Yeah,
fortified
like-
from what I've read.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were able to resist some serious shenanigans.
Big wars.
Yep.
Well, they have all the wealth there, right? The mining.
They are rich in wealth, yeah. A lot of, but they don't have a whole lot else. The lands surrounding Iron Gate are not, from my reading, are not well suited for agriculture, or timber production or anything like that. But they are very rich in metals and gems.
And the ores.
Yeah, right.
We've got just piles of money, and that's it.
Yep. No food.
Yeah, like everybody has like a pile of money in their backyard,
Yep.
you know, but no food.
Well, that was fun, guys. And I'm, whoever is still watching on Twitch, wow, thank you. We're honored to have had you with us.
We've still got some viewers.
Yeah, that's pretty
We
cool.
have more viewers than the number of
Only
us.
only one of them do I know, so that's good.
That's pretty cool. So thank you guys. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Pete Lutenberger, thanks for coming. Phoenix Iwaxi, awesome to see you. Did we already establish that Kirk Buzzsaw or whatever it was?
No, I'm Kirk Ski Bob.
Kirk
I'm
Ski
Kirk
Bop
Ski
is you. So
Yep.
that
My
doesn't
parents
really.
used to call me Kirk Ski Bobber.
Are
when
your
I was,
parents
like-
watching right now? Or was
No,
that you?
I didn't know I was doing this.
Okay.
I'm watching.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah,
I
I'm
was gonna wait a
moderating.
couple weeks until
I'm doing my role as a
used to
moderator.
worrying about
Yeah,
people
thank you,
saying-
really
Chad.
hard.
I was
It's
gonna.
really hard right now.
Well, there's a lot to moderate apparently.
Yeah.
Yes, the longest Johns. I checked them out. I don't know. Phoenix Wacky. I don't know if you sent that to our Twitch, but I did check that out, and they have a great channel, and their music is really cool too, and they play a bunch of fun games. So anyhow, thanks for joining us, guys, and I'm gonna go have one more beer and then sack out. Thanks for playing, fellas. That was fun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Adios,
next week.
and we'll see you next week, everybody. Oh, and don't forget Chad's inaugural episode of Roll Your Doom on Saturday, January 16th at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. He will be reviewing some interesting role-playing encounter development products, which is going to be pretty cool. So developed by Runehammer Games, which makes a lot of really fun, interesting stuff. So check that out too, guys.
Like
All right.
and subscribe.
Yeah, smash whatever buttons you're supposed to smash for subscriptions and all that jazz. We don't even know. But
We're horrible.
thanks again,
You see
guys.
stuff-
Have a great
You see
night.
stuff like that.
Thanks, Pete Lutenberger. We appreciate your support. We'll see you next week, hopefully. Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Later.